Hello and welcome to the latest episode of The Talking Tradesman. In the studio with me today, I have a very familiar podcasting face, none other than the trade legend that is MJ Tiff from MJ Tiff Real World Plumbing, and as you guys probably know, host of the Trade Legends podcast. Mark, thank you, mate, for coming down and spending some time with me today.
It's nice to be sat this side of it instead of, I mean, I love hosting the Trade Legends podcast, but it's nice to be this side so that you've got to do all the questioning.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I said to you pre-record, it's a little bit of a surreal moment for me because this is a nice, like, full circle kind of moment because you guys, obviously massive shout out to Trade Legends, absolutely been smashing it in the trade space for a long, long time. And it's an honour to have you sat in my studio now on my podcast.
Oh, no, cheers, appreciate that.
Nice full circle moment.
It's been a while trying to get it sorted. We was just chatting, weren't we, off camera?
Yeah.
It's been about 18 months, give or take 18 months. And when you came on the Trade Legends podcast, you said, Mark, I'd love to have you in the studio. Was you wasn't here then, was you?
No. Yeah, I was in my little boot room.
yeah, Harry Potter under the stairs. But yeah, I mean, I think we organised it back then, and then for whatever reason didn't work, and then we've organised this a few times.
Yeah.
Finally got it.
Podcasters, mate, nightmare to tie down.
That's because we're not used to talking about ourselves. We want to talk to... Getting people in for the Trade Legends one, I'll get them in and arrange it fine, but when you're this side, you're like, oh yeah. But then again, being tradesmen, we've always got stuff to do, haven't we? We've got work, we've got quoting, we've got the invoicing, emails. I'm sure we'll get onto it all. But
in fairness, mate, it is one of the topics we're going to talk about is sort of like workload and how you manage that and the social media life. Because although we had this chat at Installer, didn't we? Although it looks like this glitzy, glamorous lifestyle, it's fucking hard work.
It's a ball of stress sometimes, mate.
It is, mate. But what I want to do, I want to start at the beginning, find out a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
Sort of, do you know what? I'm picking up that it seems to be switching technology issues. I thought it was switching to the wrong person.
Real world.
Wondering whether I've got the wrong mics on. No, I think we're good. To the listeners, apologies. But yeah, find out a little bit about you, mate, and sort of, I guess, your origin story. So, you know, all the early days, why you got into plumbing, how you got into the trade space yourself.
So the early days, the reason I got into plumbing was, I've said this a few times on a few different podcasts, as you know, Russ, I'm a massive car guy, always been a car guy. And I remember when I was 14, 15 years old, my sister had a friend of hers, she's a few years, 4 or 5 years older than me, and her friend was doing his apprenticeship as a plumber, and he had a Rover 420 GTI. This would have been 95, something like that. And he got this new Rover 420 GTI, and I was like, at the time, I love cars. And so I remember saying to him, Phil, I still see him about now a little bit, Phil, how have you got that? And he went, be a plumber, mate, be a plumber, get all these cash jobs. He said, and that's what pays for the car. And literally that moment I went, if being a plumber gets you that nice car, I'm in.
I always thought it was the Porsche 924. That was known as the plumber's Porsche, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Poor man's
never heard
Porsche.
That one? Yeah.
That's the Renault engine one, isn't it?
Plumber's Porsche.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Do you know what? You've done it now. I'm going to have to buy one of them, aren't I? Mate, honestly, the car garage, since I've recently bought a unit or leasing a unit, since I've got that, I've just started to stockpile more cars.
Mate, well, I've seen a couple of bits, mate, and this could turn into like an episode of Top Gear to me. I like a car myself.
It could very easily. But yeah, so that was the origins of where it started. So off the back of that, I remember at school in my head, I was like, right, I want to get an apprenticeship as a plumber. So at the time, I know now you have to get GCSEs in maths, English, so much. But back then, I think just to get my plumbing apprenticeship college course, I had to get a C or above in design technology, woodwork, hands-on sort of stuff. So I literally pushed everything to the side in a way, concentrating on that, got, I think it was a B in that, and that then allowed me to go to college to do plumbing. So we get it a lot on the Trade Legends podcast. A lot of tradespeople, they always come in, and that you'll probably notice it as well, they always come in and go, I weren't academically great. Because back then, tradespeople were sort of, even to a degree now, tradespeople were like, the people that went into the trades weren't great at school and back then the schools were like, well, if you're not great, get a trade.
Yeah.
You were sort of
no
palmed
different
off.
now, mate.
Yeah, it's similar
no
now.
different now. I mean, my son's only just gone through the education system, 18, so he did his GCSEs only like 2-3 years ago. It was the same then.
Yeah.
He was basically told, if you don't do well. In fact, I had a row with his teacher over this because he was told the words, if you don't buckle down and concentrate and do well in your exams, you'll end up on a building site.
Is that what they said?
That is what they said. It was like red rag to a bull for me because I was like, sorry, what?
This is the mentality though that the education system are putting into people, isn't it? It's from that point it's sort of belittled. Tradespeople are belittled,
100%.
but now you're getting people. We get it all the time. I get it a lot in the comments on my YouTube videos. Is people from massively high end jobs, solicitors, doctors, whatever, going, I wish I got a trade.
Yeah.
Because now we're coming full circle, and especially with social media now, tradespeople are making content about what they're earning, and people are getting the ump. How can a plumber earn 500 quid a day? That's doctor's money.
Do you know what, mate? Funnily
It's
enough,
all relevant.
again, it's a big topic, but I was listening to a podcast myself the other day, and it was about the integration of AI into, because you look at it, mate, AI. It's
coming.
Are we going to need solicitors? Are we going to, because you've got a pocket solicitor then, and all the rest, no offence to any solicitors watching, but there's going to be a lot of jobs under threat. And I was listening to a podcast with, it was one of the founders of AI through Google, Mo something, I believe his name was. It was on Diary of a CEO. Anyway, anyone wants to check it out. And their advice was, what to do to prepare for AI, coming along was go and get a blue collar job.
Yeah.
You want to go and be, I'm sure they actually said be a plumber.
Yeah.
Because
I reckon I listened to this and thought in my head, I'm going to make some content around that, clip that up.
Okay.
And make
a
10-minute YouTube
There's truth
video.
to it, though.
There is.
There's a lot of jobs out there that the
AI is not going to fix your toilet if it's leaking.
No, mate.
It's not going to paint your wall in your house, is it?
Exactly. And a lot of those, I guess, high-ticket jobs that pay a wage are going to be under threat.
Yeah.
Anything that a computer can do is going to be under threat. I mean, I won't go into detail, but I had a legal situation, only last week. I used ChatGPT and got it sorted.
It's so good as well.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I think they say that ChatGPT's IQ is around about 1,300.
Really?
Yeah, which is what the average person is 100.
Yeah.
So anything over 100
you ever done
is
your
exceptional.
IQ test?
No, I'm too scared, mate.
Part of me wants to do one just to see. Do you watch the 1% Club?
No.
Oh, see the 1% Club. Do you know the pretense?
I know of it. Yeah.
So I'll sit there with the missus watching the 1% Club, and it counts down like 90% of people get this right, 80, 70, 60, it works down. And most of the questions are common sense. You look at it.
To the 1%.
I've done it once.
Yeah.
I think I missed, I passed on one of them, but got there. But a lot of the answers are, look at the words, and it's like the first letter of each word in this sentence spells the answer. But people, massively intellectual people, try to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Whereas the likes of us tradespeople will go, it's
sense, mate, is so underestimated, though. I read once that the definition of intelligence is a person that can adapt to their surroundings the fastest.
Yeah.
That defines intelligence. So being able to adapt quick defines intelligence. There's academic intelligence, but things like AI and all the integrations coming along, it is that those that adapt fastest will prosper.
I've always said this about tradespeople, especially being as plumber and you being a decorator. You go to someone's house, I'll knock on someone's door, 6 foot, bold guy, tattoos. I'll knock on that door. Someone will open the door. Straight away, they've got to, they're going to have a preconceived thing looking at you. Big 6 foot guy, bald head, tattoos. So you've got to put them at ease. You've got to get on their wavelength straight away.
Yeah.
So I do work in an old people's home near me. Now, I had to sit in front of a board of not directors, like the people that help run the home, the wardens and stuff like that, just for them to sort of weigh me up. I might not have been their sort of person or whatever. So you sit there and we're all happy with you, Mark. So then you're going into this. It's where they've got wardens. They own their own flat.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
do you know what I mean?
Assisted care.
Care. So you get a phone call. There's a problem with the toilet in one of the flat. So you knock on the door. That woman there is going to be, for argument's sake, mid-80s or whatever. The first thing I'm doing there is going, you might get a little call. I'll be there in a minute. Take your time, love. Open the door. oh, come on, you're all right, sit down, don't rush, let me know what the problem is, can I get you anything? You might be chatting to them for 10, 15 minutes before doing the job, because you've got to put that customer at ease, and it's respecting they're elderly, they're in here. But on the other side of it, you could go to knock on the door of a job that you've got, and it'd be a young couple. All right, mate, how you doing? You've got to adapt to them.
Yeah.
Sound, mate, yeah, you've got a problem with this.
Social
So
chameleon.
we've got to be social chameleons, like you said.
Honestly, man, there's so many, because again, there's a big difference between being a good tradesperson and being a good business owner. To me, they're chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
Like, they go together, of course they do. They're like the perfect combination, but they're two different things. So having that, because I think we all know, I know some great tradespeople that have got no customer skills.
Yeah.
Like, I've had lads work for me where I'm like, they do the job immaculately, but I cannot leave them with the
Yeah,
customer.
you ain't leaving them with
Exactly.
Mrs. Smith.
So to me, it's a whole skill set.
Yeah.
That, customer interaction, reading a customer, like you just said, because that's what you've just done.
Yeah.
You read the elderly customer, know how to behave with them. You know how to behave with the younger ones with the increased energy. Because if you behaved the same way with the younger couple, they'd think you were weird.
Yeah.
Go and sit down.
And you're not walking into some 85 year, all right, love, yeah, sound.
Exactly.
You've got to work with the people around you. And like you say, that's a massive skill. And I think that's life skills. When they say at school, you'll end up being on a building site. Building sites hone people in the real world. I could more than happy have a conversation with someone that's been on a building site a lot easier than some upper middle class person. I could speak with both fine, but you relate to them a lot easier. And like we said, the crack on a building site, you can tell a tradesperson a mile off by the banter and the crack that they're having in the pub with their mates.
Within 30 seconds of conversation, I reckon you can normally pick out a trade.
And you know how far you can go with the jokes then.
Exactly, yeah. No limits.
Yeah, definitely.
So getting back to your story then, mate. So you've gone straight into an apprenticeship.
Gone straight into an apprenticeship with a local one-man band. I say it was a one-man band, and there was him and the guy that was working for him. And I was the first apprentice that they'd ever had. So went in there, I think I was 16, finished school, done my exams, finished school, went to Newquay with the lads. This was 95, 96.
Newquay used to be the spot, didn't it?
Newquay was the boy.
Yeah.
What was it, the place? The Sailor's Arms. That was the place down in Newquay. Yeah, done my exams. The following week, me and the lad, it was like a last hurrah with the lads, because a few of the lads went off to uni and done what they'd done. I think I was the only lad that went into a trade out of that group from school. Went to Newquay, had a blowout, come back, had a week off, straight into my job. YTS, 35 quid a week. 35 quid a week. So this was 96, 35 quid a week. And then when you turned 18, got a pay rise, Russ, you ready? 40 quid a week. I reckon I had more, but probably not. But what felt like I had all the money in the world then.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I got paid, so vivid. I went and bought a purple LS jumper from this little sports shop in Leamington, and I thought I was the fucking bollocks in this LS jumper, because it's the first bit of money you've had, unless you had a little bit of a Saturday job and whatnot. But just to be able to go and have your own stuff.
The beauty to it, mate. There really is. I believe that everybody should spend their first paycheck on whatever they want. Yeah. That first paycheck, the first time you earn any proper money, there's a beauty to that. There really is. I had a similar situation in terms of, I think it's your social circle though, isn't it? Because you're out there earning money. It don't really matter what you're earning, because your mates are all earning nothing. In fact, they're getting in debt, and I had a similar I took over my business at 17. So playing that off against my mates that were going to uni and college and doing all their stuff, I was rolling in it in comparison. So it's, I mean, we could talk about the education system for a long time. Really,
that's a whole different podcast.
It is, but it needs. I think it needs bringing up. It needs awareness.
Definitely, I've always said the education. People should be taught. Kids should be taught how mortgages work, how credit works, good and bad, proper life stuff. Don't bother with your. I mean, there is a place for your history and your geography and all that. Yes, but teach them the real world, the stuff that you need. My daughter come out of school not knowing, her arse from her elbow when it comes to like money, financial stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I remember she went out, got credit cards, rung up a debt because she didn't know any different. You know, so I bailed in there. And obviously, she's got them without me knowing and whatnot. But then you teach them, and now she's spot on with money.
But like
this is what should be taught at school.
Yeah. I had this conversation literally with my son 2 days ago, and I was saying the problem is with the education system, it has got its good points, like socialising for kids, and that's brilliant, and having that security of doing that. But there's so much potential there that they could really give kids a good head start in life, and it's just squandered.
It needs a massive shake-up, doesn't it?
Yeah, from the ground. From the ground. And the perception, I think us as tradespeople, mate, the perception of that, because let's be honest, the perception of the trades industry from the education system is currently, if you fail, you'll end up in the building trades. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't you get an A-star student and go, do you know what? You would smash it in the trades. As a business owner, you'd kill it.
Yeah.
You know, you take somebody with, you know, high intelligence and all those skills and turn them into construction. I mean, there's a few dotted around now that are coming out of the woodwork that have done pretty well for themselves. But I want to see more of it. Yeah. I want to see the education system pointing people as a real viable option.
And with the whole AI thing, I think that could be, like you say, AI is taking, people are now training AI to do, basically training the AI to do their job so that it's going to take it off them. My mind.
It's mad, isn't it?
Funny enough, a few mates of mine, they're in IT and all that sort of stuff. And they say we're worried that we're teaching this to take our job. We're making a rod for our own back. Yeah. And I'm like, well, until that robot can get on his hands and knees and sort out a dodgy radiator or whatever.
You know what, mate? I heard somebody describe AI the other day, and it stopped me in my tracks because the argument was that humanity are actually creating God. Yeah. I was like, okay, by what definition? And they were like, well, the definition of a God, any God you want, is all-knowing, all-powerful, lives in the cloud. What's AI?
Yeah, got it.
You know, we are literally, although it won't be a material form, neither is a God. We're creating a technological God space.
It's going to hold
controversial.
Hold every bit of information. Yeah. Terminator was right.
It isn't far off.
It's scary, isn't it?
The minute it becomes autonomous in terms of it's got like internet access.
Well, weren't there a thing a few months back where there was 2 robots? I don't know the context in it, but there was 2 robots that started kicking off with each other. You know, I think they were there to dance or whatever. But all of a sudden they've turned on each other, and they're just going at it. Or there was one where the arm was swinging round and they just couldn't stop it, and it's just going for it. Yeah. All of a sudden you're losing control of something.
We don't know though, do we?
It's like the thing. The car. Go back to the car thing, the Tesla thing. They're all electric. All the information's going somewhere. In 10 years' time, someone is going to be able to hit a button and stop every single EV car that's on some sort of a database by pressing that button. Ever shut down. Yeah.
And that's the problem, though, isn't it? Because you get called conspiracy theories.
Yeah, we've got that. We know our tin hats, mate.
But the reality is, you are giving somebody that option. So then, if it comes into like social credit scores and stuff like that, it's like, oh, you can drive this amount of miles this month, or you can only go this far from home. I mean, what's your opinion on self-drive?
It blows my mind.
Have you been in one?
No, I don't want to, because I won't even go on a horse. Yeah. Because,
mate, I'd rather get in a self-drive than a horse.
I don't like something that I can't control. That's why I won't go on a horse. Right. If a horse, like my missus will go, I'd love to go horse ride. You know, when you go on holiday, I'd love to do these treks out. I'm not getting on a horse. Love them, think they're amazing creatures, all this. But if that horse wants to go, it'll go. If I'm in my car and I want to stop, I'll stop. But that whole self-drive thing, if you could be in it and something could happen and it's just gone.
I've been in one, accidentally. The story behind that, this is how long ago it was. This was 2019, right? Just before the world shut down. And me and my wife had gone to Vegas to renew our vows. And I went to get an Uber or a Lyft, I think it was. Right. The app over there is called Lyft, Lyft. And I went to order one, and the option came up, self-drive. Me not really computing, I thought that meant drive it yourself. Okay. So I thought if I hit that, it's a bit like, the little scooters, it will tell you where one is.
Jump
and I
in,
thought,
off you go.
This will be a laugh. why I'd think like that in Vegas anyway, because I've got no idea how to
I
drive.
would probably think the same.
Yeah, so I thought,
that.
yeah, I've literally said to the missus, I'm like, self-drive, let's give this a go. So I've hit self-drive. What that meant was a self-drive car came, and it was like a 4 Series BMW.
No one in it?
Okay. No, there was, at this time, it was experimental. So it pulled up on its own, but there was a bloke in it, and he got out the passenger side, got behind the wheel, and was like, look, basically, I need you. He had a little tablet. Press this button, sign your life away. Experimental thing. We're trialing these out. I will be in the car, but if you're happy with it, the car will drive itself.
Right.
And that was what happened. So we got in, and I was just like,
the guy didn't
wow,
touch anything.
Didn't touch anything until at this point in time we got onto like one of the main roads going through Vegas, and what had happened, there was I think a car had broken down in one of the lanes, and then he had to take control, because what he said was at this point the car couldn't recognise a broken down car from a stopped car, so the car would just sit behind it and not move. So his argument was, look, eventually these cars will talk to each other, and another car will tell it that car's broke down, or the broken down car will tell it. Yeah. But then there's the argument of, well, older cars aren't going to communicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a surreal experience, mate. Other than that little blip, it drove us from one place to another.
I've seen videos on it. I'm like, I get it. It's just not for me. I don't even want an EV.
There's a story about that one, though, mate.
Yeah, there is.
Let's get into that, Mark.
Wow.
So you don't want an EV, yet you've ordered one.
I don't want to. I've set myself up here. I don't want an EV, and I've been massively against EVs. But this is more of a promotional thing, if you like. So I've basically bought. It's not like a Tesla or anything like that. It's not. It's classed as a quadricycle, so it's not classed as a car. So in France, it's a Citroen Ami. So they're like 2 meters long. You literally sit on the wheels of it, and it's absolutely tiny. You can park it front ways into a parking space. It's that small. So they were made by Citroen. Citroen have always done dead quirky stuff. Made by Citroen in France, you have to be 14 and you can drive one, because they're classed as a quadricycle.
14?
They only do 28 mile an hour.
It's not 14 here, though, is it?
It's 60. It's on a moped license here.
Okay.
But in France, you can drive them 14. So you do 28 mile an hour. They've got a range of 45 mile, full electric. It just runs off a little alternator on the front. You literally open the door, pull a cord out the door, and it plugs into a 3-pin plug. Oh, charging, it plugs into the wall, and you flick the switch and it charges it up. The deal on it was, so Citroen have had these out for like 4 or 5 years, and a lot of they're in the UK. They're used a lot in London. The Savoy, I think, have got a fleet of 10 of them, because they just shoot round London. Limits 20 mile an hour. They're perfect. So a lot of companies have them in cities. I think there's some in Birmingham and whatnot. They're just sort of brand awareness things, because they look so funky and cool. If one drove past it, everyone would be taking pictures of it. There's that and a Ferrari behind it. People would be taking pictures of this little Citroen Ami, because it's weird. So anyway, they've facelifted them now. They're bringing a new one out. Citroen had, for argument's sake, 200 that sat in a dock that have never been sold, because they're quite niche. Obviously, Citroen won't get rid of them. So there was $7,500. Citroen did a summer discount code. People who know me will know I love a discount code. Citroen done a discount code, Ami Summer, and it got $3,000 off list price. So it took this brand new car down to $4,500. So you could put no deposit in, and it'd be like 80 quid a month for a brand new car that does, just charge it up. So I put $1,000 in, 40 quid a month for 2 years, and I'm going to have it wrapped orange with my logo on it. My colours are orange and black. Wrapped with my logo on it, and use it for content, YouTube content. So I'm going to film the whole process of picking it up. But then also I'm going to try and work out of it. Go, right, if I've got to come to yours, Russ's, you live near me in the same town, let's put some tools in it. Let's see if we can work out this. Has it got
any storage? It's got
2 seats.
Yeah.
So it's two seats, so you can use obviously the other seat or the floor or whatever. To be honest, they're massively spacious inside. Yeah. It's just a cube.
A bit like a smart car would have been the original smart car.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit smaller than a smart car, but the way they've designed it inside is just space. It's like being in a goldfish bowl. I'll show you when we finish it. It's surreal. It looks like the TARDIS. So put my tools in there. If it's a little job, so I was going to make some content. So as a brand thing, as a company thing, you park that anyway. If I drove it here, parked it outside here with the logo on it, you know, with my Facebook
rolling billboard,
literally, you know, Instagram and YouTube handle, people will just take photos of it. So that was the reason behind it. So I weren't buying it as trying to justify having an EV.
He's a Judas, really.
I gave Al from Trade Legends that much grief, but it's a marketing tool. You know, 40 quid a month for 2 years. I went absolute gold. You can't buy that sort of.
That makes sense, but you've had a problem with it, haven't you?
Yeah. So because Citroen. Let's say Citroen had 300 of them in a dock. They've opened it up for everyone to order them. I've got a phone call yesterday saying, even though I've ordered it, I've paid the deposit on it, I've gone through the finance checks for it, so I've got the finance in place. Citroen have messaged me, emailed me and said, this is your order number, this is your delivery date, it's done. All I can think of is they've had 300, for argument's sake. They've looked at them, they've been sat for 2 years, maybe 100 of them aren't up to saleable. It's not presentable for whatever reason. So now we're down to 200, but they've sold 300 spaces. So now it's date order from when you've ordered it. And now they rung me and went, look, you're on the waiting list. And I've gone, hang on, why am I on a waiting list? I've got order confirmation, finance. You've done a hard finance check on me. So that's run through your credit rating. To now be put on a waiting list. If I'd known that, I'd have waited for you to give me one before. If you're ordering it, clicking it and saying, well done on your purchase, you assume you're getting one. But it is what it is. So I'm waiting, hopefully, tail end of next week to see if I've actually got it. But out of all the cars I've got and bought, I'm so excited about getting this because everyone sees it and they take the piss and they go, what's that? And then they go, when you get it, will you take me out in it? Or let me see it when you get it. It's just going to be brand awareness. And it goes hand in hand with what we have to do as you know, sole traders and having our own businesses. You've got to be creative, especially in the YouTube space. Be creative with the content and be creative with how you're getting work in. I drive that little car around my local town in my colours. People will know straight away. I mean, my van stands out black and orange with a number plate that says toilet. People know that van.
Yeah.
So now they'll see a little car like that. What's that? Oh, that's Mark, the plumber's.
Now, your branding's on point. It is on point, and it's another one of those string to the bows that tradespeople need to learn is personal branding.
Yeah,
because
a lot of people don't like having their van's sign written
due to the thefts.
I've always been, from day one of the driving factors when I set my own company up. We've massively gone off where we were going because we haven't even got to that point.
We'll come back.
Yeah. So one of the massive driving points of me when I set my own company up was I was so proud to get a van with my name, MJ Tiff Plumbing and Heating on. I remember the day when I got it sign written, I was like, yes, I've fucking done it. Yeah. This is my own company. And I was proud of that driving around my local area and people going, oh, like, you know, that's much. But I get people, they just want a van, a white van or a black van. And I'm like, it just looks like a van. And they're like, oh, we'll get broken into if people know what are in it. I think if you're going to get it.
I mean, to be honest, in my trade, we've kind of flown under the radar for quite some time as decorators. It's almost put decorator on your van, and you'll be safe. But I mean, I hope not fucking touch wood. I've got wood here actually. Yeah. Hopefully, it won't change, mate. But I think it will because our trade's changed now. You know, you got thousands of pounds worth of sprayers and sanders and all the Fez toolkit. Certainly, I know, like my own setup now is worlds apart from when I started in the trade. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if you don't have your van written, I guess maybe certain trades are more prone than others. If you put, you know, electrical, they're going to know that you've got power tools. Plumbing's probably the same, carpentry. But then where do you go, really? Out of all the trades, if you've got all the trades, so there's 6, 7 trades, at least 5 of them carry high-value tools. So if you've got an unwritten van, it's like a magical mystery box.
Yeah, what
and
we're
the
gonna
way,
get, yeah.
And the way
Lucky
they break into them now, being so fucking quick and easy,
Yeah.
they'll break into it just to check.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll pop it and see.
Yeah.
It's not like they ain't got to crack a safe to get in there, have
it's
they?
easy.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
I agree, mate. I'd write it all day.
And I do get it. I get why people don't want it. But for me, it's you walk out your house in the morning or you walk up to your van and you're like, fucking yeah, this is my company. And people look at it and the people in I live in quite a close sort of knit few towns, and they've seen that branding on 2, 3, 4 vans over 20 years. And it's sustainability. They know you're not just you've just come onto it for 2 or 3 years. You've been going for 20 years on your own. We've seen that van around for years.
Well, it's great advice. And the other thing as well, I think it portrays to a customer confidence and reliability. There's trust in that.
Yeah.
If you're willing to put your name on a van, you're not a cowboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I mean, you could be. I'm sure there are cowboys out there with names on vans, but you're less likely, I think, in the eyes of a customer, because you're not going to want to pull up outside somebody's house and have, your name emblazoned upon it and then do a hit and run job. So, yeah, I think 100%, mate. My advice would always be to get a van.
Yeah, I just think, it's just something to be massively proud of.
I agree. And that's part of being in business, mate, isn't it? It's hitting those goals and those targets. But going back to your journey through business, so obviously you did your apprenticeship, you were working for somebody.
Working for someone. I did my apprenticeship with him. Once I qualified, done 2 years with him, and then the guy that I did my apprenticeship with, so there was me, the boss, and the guy that I'd done my apprenticeship with. Ian moved to another company. So it just left with me and the boss. And I hadn't really worked with the boss that much. It was always me and Ian. And he went to this other company, and about a month or 2 later, he rang me. I'm on Nokia, because it would have been like 98.
You were busy playing Snake.
I don't even think they had Snake, mate. It was the ones where you could download the tune out the back of the Sun or whatever it was. Anyway, Ian's got hold of me, landline. Ian's got hold of me and said, look, I work for this company now. They're more than willing to give you a job because I've said that you was my apprentice and you're spot on. And that was such a strange thing. Going to the boss that gave me my apprenticeship, put me through, he was absolute gold to me. And because I remember when Ian left, he said to me, "Oh, I can't believe he's gone. He's not let me down, but I thought he'd be with me, bro. He's dropped me in the shit," because he had to then get his tools back out. And I remember saying to Ian, "Yeah, brilliant. I went for the interview. It was really informal. Mark, do you want a job? Yeah, sound. That was it." But I remember I would have been like probably 19, 20. No, maybe a bit older, 21. And I remember the night before going, shit, how do I say to my boss that I'm leaving? Because he's been so fucking good to me. I felt so guilty. And it's only now that I'm sort of really remembering that. The anxiety, the butterflies. Because I'd never done anything like that before. My first ever job. And I remember going in and Les, I think I said, "Les, I need to speak to you." And he just he had a big, massive desk in his office. One of the, like what you picture an accountant's desk, really wide, like he was putting as much space between you. That's one side. I've walked in the morning, I said in my head, I've got to tell him straight away. Walked in, "Morning, Mark. Morning, Les. I need to speak to you." And he's stopped writing, so stereotypical, stopped writing, put his pen down, looked at me, went, "When are you leaving?" And I just felt like shit. I remember it vivid. Now it's coming back. I just felt, I was like, oh, well, I think I'll come out with some really horrible, not horrible, real shit thing. I think, I think I might get out of plumbing. And he went, okay. And it was like he knew that was me trying to not let him down. He just sort of went, okay, Mark. And that was it.
Yeah.
I think he went, how long? And I went, a couple of weeks. And it was never mentioned again.
It's horrible, mate. And
I'm just remembering it now. I felt really bad.
There's two sides, and there's the loyalty to the company, but then there's also your own personal progression. Yeah. And it's out of interest, because obviously apprenticeships now are few and far between. Yeah. They're really hard to come by. At the same time, they're really hard to get a decent apprentice when you're on the other side of it. Where do you sit on like how they should work or why they're not working currently?
See, this is a real tough one as well, because I'm a sole trader. I've only ever worked with myself, and I've got lads. The local plumbers around near me are sound. If I've got a job and time frames, I need a push, I'll ring one of the lads. Give us a couple of days.
Yeah,
work, job for job sort of thing. A part of me feels quite guilty that I don't want to take an apprentice on. I do, but I don't, because this is going to sound massively selfish. I like the fact that if I finish my day at 2:00, I can go, I'm going home. Because I'm not in it solely for the money. It was the time, and we'll get onto this when the transition of starting for myself. The time is more valuable to me than what you earn money-wise.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I couldn't give an apprentice the time that they would need. And I've always said, even on the podcast, when people have said it to me, and when people message me on YouTube, I get loads of Instagram messages saying, do you take apprentice?
Yeah, of course.
And I always say, go and find a firm that's got 4 or 5 blokes, because then you'll do 3 months with this guy, 3 months with that guy, and you'll learn loads of bits. I said, if you come with me, I'm a jobbing plumber, you're only going to learn what I'm learning, which for someone it might be great, but I just can't give them the time. Plus as well, now you take an apprentice on, you've got pensions, health and safety, holiday.
Well, yeah,
it's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
I think one of the issues that I see, because I've been through it, mate, I've had apprentices. At the minute, my son's my apprentice, so I'm like tied in family.
Are you putting him through college and all that?
No,
right.
I'm not, for the reason that I don't think he'd gain anything. So my son, actually, funnily enough, not to diversify too much, but he started off, he said he wanted to be a sparky.
Right.
And he went to college and he did his first year on electrical, whatever, level 3 or 4 or wherever they start. Mate, it was awful.
Really?
Like, the college course was so bad.
In what way?
In terms of the tutors not turning up.
Oh, wow.
He was 16 at the time. So he was having to, it's not far, but he was making an effort. He was getting up in the morning, going and getting a bus into the next town over where the construction college was, turning up at college. So he's paying for the bus. He's getting out of bed
to get there.
Yeah, he's standing there in the bus stop in the cold and wet when he had to. And then he'd go into college and he'd walk into his tutor room, and it'd be like meant to start at 9. 9:30 comes, nobody, and he'd go down to reception and be like, what's going on? Oh, his tutor hasn't come today. And, mate, if I could say that was a one-off, it was regular.
Really?
You're talking once, sometimes it felt like it was once a week.
See, why are the colleges allowing that?
Those were horrendous.
Were they?
There was somebody else I spoke to a while ago, and his son, a mate of mine, his son had gone to do the electrical course over, I think it was Solihull.
Right.
And partway through the course, the electrical tutor had quit, and they'd replaced the electrical tutor with the bricklaying tutor. It was literally just reading out of a book. And this is what they were up against. So the college system, again, college system needs a massive overhaul.
Yeah.
You need high quality tutors. I'm not saying that all tutors are bad. There have got to be some good ones, but locally, to me, it's no good.
Right. Is that through all construction trades then?
I mean, he was doing an electrical course at the local college.
Well, it must be if the bricklaying tutors being able to step into the sparkies, there's something's going on there as well.
For my trade, mate, with it being decorating, let's not beat about the bush. It isn't the same in terms of you don't need to be NIC. We're not working with dangerous things.
Yeah.
And his nearest college that did painting and decorating courses, again, they're few and far between now, was Dudley. So for him to
How far is that from you then?
A trek.
Really?
A trek. So at the time when he didn't drive, he'd have had to have got a bus into Kidderminster, which is the next town over, a train from Kidderminster to Birmingham, and a train back out of Birmingham to get to Dudley.
Every day.
Every day. And if I'm honest, mate, what he would learn, he learns a lot more with me.
Yeah.
I'm confident in saying that, because I went through the college system when I was younger, and it's not. I've spoken to a few people, a few decorating apprentices recently, and they've all said the same.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that tick in a book and go through the system and get your qualification. But in terms of what's learnt, they've all said that the education system and the quality of it is awful.
But that's where your social media comes in as well. It's helping people coming into the trades, and probably every industry where the content's out there so much. I get so many messages on my YouTube videos from young people coming into it going, I've watched your stuff, you've taught us what it's going to be like when we actually get out there. And I've even had college lecturers message me saying, we get all the college work done, this, that, and the other. He said, and then, you know, the last half an hour or whatever of a Friday, we'll put either one of my videos on or another plumber.
Right.
So good. Yeah. When I got told that, I was like, sort of lost for words a bit. I was like, what, you're putting my content out?
That's cool.
You know, between me and there's a few other plumbing content makers on YouTube, and everyone's got their own little niche. You know, like Chigs, he'll do boilers. You got other lads that do sort of heating installs, other lads that do renewables. I'm sort of the jobbing around one. But the fact that they're showing the kids that are coming up the ranks that, and they're going, we can teach you everything here. This is what it's like. This is real world plumbing. And that's where that real world plumbing thing sort of started early on in my channel. Because I show when everything goes right, I show it when it goes wrong. I've shown videos where I've put pipe work in a wall, then maybe 2 or 3 months later on a house extension or a barn renovation, I've gone back, fitted the bathroom in that house that I filmed, putting the pipes in, and I've drilled through and hit the pipe. So many comments said, you've done that on purpose. I went, fucking trust me, I haven't. But I'm going to film that I've done it because I've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be shown my content in colleges for people coming into the trades that's what I take from the hours of slog that you put the content out.
That's legacy, though.
Yeah.
You know, getting out there. I often say this, a few of the former guests that have come on that do things like writing books about their lives and experiences. I think one of the most touching things you can do is plant seeds that you never get to see the fruit. Yeah. You know, you don't get to see it grow. Yeah. And that's why, like, doing what you're doing with your YouTube channel, you'll be reaching so many people that you will have no idea you've reached, that will have watched and it'll have made a difference. Or that college class that got shown your video that you never find out about, you'll never know. Yeah. But actually your video has made a difference to somebody's perception or life choice or whatever. Yeah. I think that's ace. Like, there's a real beauty to that for me.
Yeah, it's everyone that makes content, there's an element of egotistical gratification from it. I don't care what anyone says. If you see people go, well, don't do it for that. There is a little bit, because everyone likes to be liked.
Of course.
Everyone likes to put a little bit of content out, or a Instagram reel of your dinner or whatever, and someone go, oh, that mashed potato looks nice.
Yeah.
It just makes you, you know, it's just nice. That's what everyone wants, because we now live in an age where someone pressing a button on a phone and you receiving that notification makes you feel good. As shit as that is, it's what we do.
It's was it dopamine, isn't it? They say you get a small dopamine hit from it, which is crazy that our brain has, I guess, allowed that. We have to give ourselves a little bit of credit here, because all these like app designers and phone designers and technology designers, they have teams of some of the best psychologists going that develop these things specifically to do that. Yeah. So yeah, we're being manipulated, but we're being manipulated by experts. Yeah. So, you know,
I don't know whether that's fucking good or bad.
It's not good. It's not good. But it's, you know, they're like studying this under like almost lab conditions. Yeah, like, how do we make that serotonin, or, you know, how do we get that little boost of dopamine out of our app or our phone or our technology?
Well, what was that film called? I think it was called The Social Network, not the Facebook film. There was something on Netflix, and it was like the worst horror film I've ever seen. But it was about the internet, and it was something. This might not be completely right, but it was something like the people that analyze. Let's use Instagram for instance. You're on Instagram and you're flicking through people's stories or whatever, and all of a sudden, for some reason, you've put your phone down for 4 or 5 days because you want to have a detox, a cleanse from that. Something in the back end of it will notice that you're no longer interacting. So they can still monitor where you are with that phone, and they'll notice that, oh, he's stood next to Russ, or he stood next to Bob, or they're all in the same vicinity. We know that Mark likes looking at car content, but he hasn't looked for ages, and he's with Russ and Bob and Steve. And they're active on their phones all the time. Let's put some car content that we know Mark likes to Russ, because we know Russ is within 5 meters. To which then Russ will go, hey Mark, have you seen this? Yeah. Which will then trigger my brain to then start looking back at my phone.
Literally sends
I'm sure it was called The Social Network or something. It was on Netflix. and it even had the guy. I think it had the guy that made the like. But what was that one on Facebook years ago? Not before the like button, the nudge.
Yeah.
The nudge button. He made the nudge button on Facebook or something like that, and he said he had to. He spent months and months and months making this work, the data going into it. He said then he became a slave to what he'd done. He was constantly using it, and he had to write something to get that out of everyone's psyche,
mate.
because it drawn him in. What he had done made him a slave to it.
Reading something, TikTok used to, again, their algorithm changes all the time, but that would monitor if you hadn't been on the app for so long. It would then push your content out, so you start getting the notifications to open the app.
Again, makes you feel good. Oh, everyone's watching my content.
Your phone starts pinging, then you open the app, then you notice it all slows down because TikTok knows you're looking. When it's almost like,
how long do you think you could do without having your phone? Let's take work away from it, because, well, you shouldn't even do that. But let's say the work's like your work emails and your phone calls coming in from customers. How long do you think you could go without your phone socially?
Private social.
Private socially.
I'm not active on them.
Are you not?
No.
Have you not got a private?
I have. I've got private, but I don't really monitor them. So
when you say don't really, how often of a week would you go on your private Instagram, for argument's sake?
So my private Instagram, mate, it could be, I could probably look at my last post is probably, in fact, I could say it would be when I was away a few weeks ago in the Lake District. I posted a picture of the family because I like to see it as like a memento for me more than anything. Because my private Instagram, mate, I don't let anyone follow it. I kind of see it as it's for me.
Story,
so
it's like a photo album.
I've got like genuine friends that I've known for years, but the following's not big. I've probably not opened it for a week, if not longer.
Yeah. But your business on the same phone,
mate,
because of the podcast.
To caveat that, Mark, if I'm being honest, because I'm so active on like the Talking Tradesmen's pages and then the RDP side. If that wasn't there, I probably would be on my personal ones. I think it's just order of priority at the minute. Because it sort of goes through that, and this is a business and all the rest of it. I get my max sort of like, I get filled up by doing the social stuff for the businesses that I don't really feel the need for the private. If I didn't have the businesses, maybe I'd be hooked onto the private because I am on the apps. I'm just dealing with a different side of it.
If I go on my Instagram, it's always the plumbing side or the podcast side. Very rare. Say very rarely. Probably a couple of times a day. A couple of times a day I go on mine, whereas a couple of times an hour I'm on the business one. Which is scary when you think about it. You're like, fucking hell.
Mate, the notification. So obviously I've sat down with some of the big creators. I've sat down with the likes of Kev, like Paint Warrior Kev and Mark Marshall and stuff like that. Mate, their phones
constantly pinging.
Blow my mind. Kev will sit there and he'll be like, look, in the amount of time, and he'll have like 300 messages. I'll be like, I don't know how.
Full-time job.
I'm never, whether I'd ever get to that level, but I'm certainly not there now.
Would you want to?
No, because I've got a real problem with not opening messages.
Can you not have the little red thing? My missus.
No, it bugs the hell out of me.
My missus on her phone with the email thing. I know this for a fact because I was on the home computer the other day and I seen it. Like my inbox are like 3, and I'll click through them and make sure. 15, something like 15,700. I'm like, Kaz, for fuck's sake, just completely you're not going to read them, just delete them all. But she won't. I'm like, you're never going to go through them. It just annoys the shit out of me.
See, a while ago, which is probably about 2-3 years ago now, I got a second phone. So I've got 2 phones. Very few people have got my private number. Right. The reason I did that is because I got to a point, it was Christmas, actually, and I had customers, again, mate, I'm a painter and decorator, I don't get emergency calls, but I had customers messaging me. It was one year, I specifically remember it, I had messages coming in on Christmas Eve about the colour of a kitchen unit that I was doing in April, and it was like, Russ, sorry to message you. I'm like, well, you're not, because you're sending the message anyway. Sorry to message you on Christmas Eve, but you're not. And then I had messages on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I literally went, and none of it was, it was literally like, we're thinking about doing this.
It's not life-changing, with all due respect.
Do you know what it was?
Yours.
I was on a New Year's party. This was the moment. New Year's Eve party at some friends' houses, or house, sorry. And I was stood in the kitchen. My phone pinged. I got the one phone at the time, and it was a customer asking me whether I thought that having their kitchen island darker would work. Right, and I've looked at the message. I didn't open it, but you know it comes up and you can read it. So it come up, and I've gone, can you believe it? Like it's 7:30 on New Year's Eve, and somebody's messaging, and I've had this conversation with the people I was with, and I was like, I'm not responding. I'm not responding today.
I know what you're going to say.
Put my phone in my pocket, and then I stood there with a glass of Prosecco in my hand, and I was looking at my mate's kitchen, going, I wonder if it would look better. And that was it. And I thought, shit.
Yeah.
Although I haven't responded, it switched my head into work mode. And the following day I went and got another phone line. And
oh, really?
Yeah. So what I can do, what I'm happy to do, if I don't see a message come in, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
So I can leave my work phone with my work socials and everything at home or turn it off and not stress about, I wonder if I've had a message.
Yeah.
Don't bother me at all. If I see the message on the thing, I've got to open it.
You're right. If we have mindset to it, you're completely right. If I'm here, or now my phone's here, it's on silent, whatever. But if it pinged up and you've seen that message from Tom and it's the start of it, you'll quickly glance at it. Mark, I was wondering if it's in your head then.
Yeah.
It would be like, right, as soon as you finish this, quickly have a look. And then you're right.
Because you know
the good thing, I'm going to try that by turning them notifications off, the screen notifications. So when you look at your WhatsApp, it's just the little red dot.
Yeah.
Then it's your choice whether you open that to look. But if you've had that prompt.
But initially, mate, I was really good with it. So I went and got a second line. I gave it to about 10 people had my number. I didn't have any of my socials on it, nothing. It was just almost like an emergency phone.
Family and friends sort of.
Yeah. Again, there's that thing, I grew up much the same as you. When I was younger, there was no phones. Yeah. Like you were home when you were home. And if you went for a walk, people didn't know where you were. And that was nice.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where I was doing stuff like coming back from work and taking the dog for a walk. I'd walk for an hour and then get home and be like, I don't remember the walk. Because I spent the whole time emails, messages.
Head down, walking along like that.
Just to be able to leave that phone at home for an hour or two, take my other phone, so I've got like the emergency, just in case the kids need me, my wife needs me.
Yeah. If that rings, you know there's a reason.
So that kills my anxiety of not being contactable. Yeah, I've got that worked for me. And then, but what's happened is my private phone, I can't remember where I went, and I put like the Instagram of one of my businesses on it.
Fucked yourself, mate.
Yeah, exactly. But nobody can text or call me on it. That's it. The socials are there.
We've just become slaves to it, haven't we?
100%.
And it's scary, and everyone says, oh, I need to cut down on it, and we all do. But our life, as sad as it sounds really shit when you even say it out. Our lives are on there.
I think more so, because I've noticed a massive difference. So I guess it would be accurate to say, so I've started dipping my toe into like the worlds of social media and speaking to brands and all the stuff you've been doing for a lot longer than me.
You know,
off the back of this.
That's fun.
And it's been an eye-opener.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had this conversation with Danny Madden a couple of weeks ago, because I've had Danny on the podcast, and like we've had conversations, and the amount of stuff that he does. And I had a real busy week a couple of weeks ago where I was dealing with a couple of brands and doing a couple of bits of social media content and a media day and stuff like this. And I messaged Danny and I went, mate, I just wanted to say I've got a whole newfound level of respect for what you do, because it is exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I want to talk to you about. We've kind of skipped the whole like working for yourself, but while we're on the subject, is how, because you're immersed in it. And one of the things, when I first met you, Trade Legends, walked in. By the way, on that day, I was shitting it.
Was you?
I was proper nervous, mate.
I
don't know why, but it
was that the first podcast you'd ever done?
No, I'd done my own.
Of course,
and I'd done a remote. I think I'd done about 8 or 9 episodes. I'd done a remote episode for somebody else
on the phone.
Yeah, but then at the first time I came in,
call,
do you know what it was? If I'm being honest, I pulled up at Trade Legend. And there was a little bit of like, I've listened to these guys for ages. Like fucking hell, this is something. And then I press the buzzer. And Jack comes down with a fucking camera on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And straight away.
Of course, because that was the time we used to get behind the scenes.
Yes,
stuff,
I've got
which
this
was great.
big camera in my face, and I'm like, whoa. I remember coming upstairs and sitting down with you, and you were sat at a computer doing some work and just having a chat with you, and you were sort of saying, well, I'll do a couple of days doing this now, and the pressure's off and all. And I remember walking away from that whole experience and thinking, that sounds really cool.
Right.
Being able to, but I had no idea what the social media side of things actually entails. I looked at it very naively. I thought it was all easy. As a tradesperson, and there'll be other people watching and listening to this that aren't involved in social media that will feel the same, that will look and think, oh, that stuff that Tiff does is a piece of piss.
They get all that free stuff.
Yeah, standing on a show. Standing on a stand at the installer show. That's a piece of piss.
So much hard work.
It fucking really is hard work.
It is.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
And there's days where I get back into my day job and I'm like...
For a rest.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not taking anything away. I love what I'm able to do now at Installer Show. Installer Shows, if you don't know, is the biggest plumbing and heating, and it's an expanding show in the UK over 3 days at the NEC. Massive show. Now, I now work with a brand on each day. So this year was Snug Underfloor Heating, Thomas Dudley, who make internals for toilets, and CT1. Again, I work with all three of those brands. But to be on their stands is on your feet all day, talking to people, and people coming up. And I absolutely love this, where people who watch my YouTube content come up. All right, Mark, I watch your stuff. Nice to meet you. And I love people coming up and saying that. Again, it's a sort of a feel-good factor.
Yeah.
But also you get to meet the people, because I've got a real loyal fan base on my YouTube where people comment, and I always sit there for the first 3 or 4 hours after a video goes live replying to people. Because I've always done it from day one. I would sit there. If I'm sat in a dentist waiting room, I'll pop on, and if someone's put a comment, I'll reply to everybody. Unless it's a dickhead comment.
Well, you do reply to those too, don't you?
Some of them pull me in, mate. Some of them do pull me in. We'll get on to that.
It does crack me up, mate, your responses.
I've got to kill them with kindness. But to have people come up to you and go, I love your content, it's great. But you come away from them 3 days at Installer Show, fucked.
Yeah.
Knackered. Your social app to talk to people. What's it called? Your social
battery.
Social battery is low, massively low.
Yeah.
I'm not massive around big groups of people, and a lot of people are surprised at that, because I'm quite an outgoing person, but I don't like being in a room where there's 6 people battling for the hierarchy. I could quite happily go in there and battle with them. I'll step back and go, fight your way around, and you. Yeah. I always put it into the context of, imagine being in the Big Brother house. I could go into there and I could hold my own. I'd like to think I could, but I would sit back and watch people do their thing and become who they want to be, and find that social hierarchy, and then I'll go, I want to be around that person.
There's some huge characters in the industry.
Massive.
Huge personalities, which is fantastic. As I said, I'm only just starting to dip my toe and appreciate what you guys do. First time I've ever been to Installer was this year, blown away by it, mate. I couldn't believe how big it was. The biggest show that I normally go to is the P&D show.
Yeah.
And Installer's 5-6 times as big.
Yeah.
Absolutely gigantic. I'd been told it was big.
Bigger than what you thought.
Didn't justify it.
Didn't have a clue what you were walking into.
I had sort of like a walk around. There was a few people.
Because you know quite a lot of people within the whole. The good thing with the construction, the social media construction, the whole thing is everyone's great. There's a few random ones, but you pick who you like. As a whole, everyone is brilliant. You get on with everyone, you see everyone. Everyone's got time for everyone else, and people will help each other out. And I've got a good core group of various different trades that I chat to a lot on private messages and phone calls and whatnot. And we'll all sort of go, have you seen this, or can you help me with this, or what you get with making social media content and a brand coming to you. They want to know what your rate card is, and your rate package, sort of your media pack. how much do you charge for reels, and how much do you charge for a story, and for me, how much do you charge for a long form content or a day's filming? And when you get into it, people, or when I got into it, people wouldn't help you because they didn't want you knowing what they're earning. Whereas I'm with my core group of people, I don't know everything, but I will give as much guidance as I can. You've got X amount of followers on X amount of platform, organic followers. You've got to be worth around.
Keyword there, wasn't it?
You see why I slipped that in? Organic followers, you know that.
Touch on that.
You know, there's a point. Know your worth, because a brand knows what you're going to be worth to them.
Yeah.
They know you can do a post, hit a button on your phone because you've spent 2, 3, 4 years building your organic following, and you can hit X amount of 1,000 people with one post. A company knows what that's worth to them. So you need to know your worth and not be greedy with it, and be loyal to the brands that are working with you, and sort of almost look at stuff and go, if you look at something and goes, oh, I don't know, should I do that? Probably don't do it. You need to, for me, if something comes across the table to me and I'm like, yes, that's a bit of me, go for it. If something comes across and you go, oh, how can I make that work with what I do? Straight away, you're trying to find a string to pull to work with that brand. If it doesn't, if you've got to go out your way to make that content and it's not organic, it doesn't come naturally, my advice would be always sort of go, look, really appreciate the offer.
Yeah.
Maybe not for me.
The most important thing is protecting your own brand.
100%.
So if you do anything to undermine that, because it's, your future offers that might come in, you don't know what's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
So to take something on that is detrimental to your own brand is, for a couple £100 or whatever it might be, the lasting damage.
Yeah.
I must admit, again, to touch on that world, I was quite fortunate. Again, big shout out to Kev here, Paint Warrior.
Yeah.
First time I had any kind of offer come my way was the same. I got asked that question: how much for a reel? And I'm like,
what? How much? You don't know. You've got no
idea. Fortunately, me and Kev were speaking at that point. We're mates now.
Lean on him a little bit and go,
mate, I did message him. I was like, mate, this is the company that have approached me. This is what they've asked for. What would you say? Like, where do you go? And he was, brilliant at giving advice, and it worked out well. As I say, I've dipped my toe in that world. So I've made some mistakes.
Yeah.
I've made some mistakes.
You learn
because,
by them, don't you? That's the thing.
Exactly. And it's, I see a lot of mistakes being made as well, because some people are within the construction industry, I think, are so flattered by the offer that they're willing to do a lot for next to nothing.
They see the shiny diamond and they'll swoop and grab it.
Yeah.
They won't do the back end research to go, is that offer they're offering me? Are they giving me that product and asking me to do X amount of videos, reels, whatever? Is that worth it? Or are they going to gain massively from giving me that product? Or I'm not going to go into that too much, but just do your due diligence with 100%. A brand that comes.
To be fair though, Mark, there's some long days involved as well. I mean, to illustrate, and I won't say the brand or the deal that it was, but a couple of years ago, one of the things I did that I got wrong, which again, I saw the bright lights, I was like, okay, it was a brand that aligned with me, so there's no issue there. I got offered £600 to go for a day to go and do something and get some content and then put content out about that event.
For you to make the content?
For me to make it, right? And I thought to myself, tradesman, £600 for a day's work.
It's half a day for a decorator, isn't it?
Banging, mate. Decorating our plumber. Jesus Christ. That's about a week's work, that one, Mark. But I thought, that's good money.
Yeah.
I'll take that. It's got to be easier than being on the tools. So I accepted it, went down. Now, how that actually equated, because there'll be people listening now that will say, £600 for a day, sound?
Yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
That day looked like, to me, I got up at 4 a.m. I had to drive 2.5 hours to where I was going, spent 8 hours there, spent 2.5 hours driving back. It ended up being a 13-hour day, and then I had to put the content together. It was probably another 2-3 hours. So when I worked it up, I was like, hold on, I've done 16 hours, and my fuel. And then I bought lunch while I was there, and I thought, I've earned no more than what I would have done on my job round the corner.
Was that did that deal lead on to other deals, or was it offered to you do this and you'll get a bit more and a bit more, or was it just a one-time?
It was a one-time thing.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if I were to zoom out, it's probably good for my portfolio.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't regret doing it, but it's just the shiny
learning
lights.
curve, isn't it?
Yeah, the shiny lights when it came forwards. Because when you break it down, and other things that have come my way, and sort of people turn around and go, well, how much to do this for a day? And you start saying, well, it's £1,000. But then when you take everything out of it, the time, it's not just the day that you're there, it's a half a day to get the content produced afterwards. Yeah. It's the travel, it's the hours. And actually that day, it's not an 8-hour day, it's a 12-hour day or a 14-hour day. That's actually a day and a half within 24 hours. Yeah, you've got to, it's a whole different world, man. It really is.
People will say to me, what should I be charging for this? And I'll go, roughly work it out. You know, how long is it going to take you? Say it's going to take you 4 hours to film the content and get it. Then you've got to spend another few hours editing it. Has this brand asked you to put it out, or are you filming raw content? I've had it literally yesterday. A brand, an offer's come in, and I'm to-ing and fro at the minute. They're going, we just want you to send the raw content to us. And I'm saying, but then you're going to edit it. I want to see how you're going to edit it.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving you, half an hour of raw content.
Yeah. I
still want my safeguard, my brand. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They'll go, brilliant, I'm getting 500, 600, 700 quid for that. Have it. All of a sudden, let's say, for instance, you give them that content and you massively blow up in the next year to 1 million subscribers. They've still got the intellectual rights to that, so they can pump that out. So maybe just go, you can use that, but you can only use it for 2 months. Yeah. Or you can use it for 3 months. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't. They go, there you go. Again, they can use that then for 5 years.
We're tradespeople. And this is the thing, it's a whole new world. And I've come a cropper on a couple of things, done really well on a couple of things. But yeah, I think if you are touching into that world, don't be afraid to ask for advice, because we all started somewhere with it, and I think we all appreciate just how much of a fish out of water we are with those things, and it varies. So, because the other thing is, I mean, like I said about the £600 for a day thing, that was a day out of my schedule. I've had other things, which I'm sure you have, that you can film while you're doing the job you were going to do anyway. So obviously my output then is virtually nil, because I'm there, I'm doing the work anyway. Yes, it's going to slow me down a bit because I've got to film some bits, maybe use a slightly different product or method than I normally would, to try things out as a trial. But ultimately, the time going into that is far, far less than going out and doing something, which is a lesson, again, that I've learned now.
And that's like with me, with my YouTube content, I'm just filming it as I'm doing the job. I'm not specifically going, right, let's set this up to film it. I'm going, we're coming to Russ's house to change his kitchen tap. I'll literally do a 2-minute intro. Right, we're coming to this, coming to Russ's house, we've got to change this tap, the reason being it, give the audience the dilemma, what's the problem, give them the payoff, what's going to happen. If we can get this done, Russ is no longer going to have a noisy pipework or a dripping tap. Let's see if we can get it done. So that's the 2 minutes intro. Then I'm just filming it. I'm underneath the sink, camera in my hand or tripod or whatever, and it's probably adding 10 minutes onto a hour job. But people seem to, wouldn't have you around my house filming, get the job done instead. I'm like, don't watch this free content that you're watching on YouTube. You're paying nothing. Don't moan.
It's the understanding. It's the understanding. People don't. It's a different world. In fact, it was Nathan, the producer, your guy over at Trade Legends. I spoke to him at the On the Tools Awards last year, and he reframed it a little bit for me. It
must have been before he was pissed.
No, he was steaming.
Don't listen to a word he said.
So the advice he gave, but he reframed it a little bit, and he kind of said that within construction, he's so big. Like there's how many million people work in it or whatever it might be, there's still actually very few that are producing content. And then out of that demographic, there's fewer even still that do face to camera. And then out of that demographic, there's fewer even still that are working with brands. And he was saying it's virtually a trade of its own, being a construction person within social media. And it's still so new as a demographic, because we're only talking a few years really. So we're all still cutting our teeth and learning what works and what don't, as are the brands, and everyone's still, trying to work out the next big thing that's going to work and click and the value. It's a little bit like the Wild West at the minute, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think brands are now just touching on the organic dig that I put in.
Let's just be brutal, mate. There's an elephant in the room because there are certain people. I guess let's just call it what it is, mate. There's people out there that are buying their followers and buying their audience. No, you can't even call it that. What would you call it? Fake followers, bots,
fake followers,
whatever.
Bot accounts.
But I guess the frustrating thing for the likes of yourself and the other people that have built a genuine following is that you've put years and years and years and years of work into that without any back end, without any payment. Because that's the other thing worth noting. If somebody says to you, Mark, I'll pay you 500 quid to make a video if you change this tap, it's not actually that. It's because you've spent 5 years building an audience that want to see what that brand want to pay for.
They're not going to offer that to John down the road that's got 10 followers.
No, exactly. There's no point.
Yeah.
So they're actually paying you for the 5 years of unpaid work is how I see it.
Yeah.
But there's people that want to fast track that and get to the, all of a sudden they've got 100,000 or 50,000
so they can charge
followers.
X amount. But luckily now, we're just on the cusp, I think, because it's become a massive elephant in the room and a lot of people have been quite vocal about it. On the Trade Legends podcast, I have to be quite impartial as a host, as you will know. So
there's no limits here, mate.
You've got good. You've got to sort of you've got to dig into the guests who we'll have on and try and pull that little string. But what brands are beginning to notice now, because everyone is being so vocal about it and going to, I've said it to brands that I work with, and they've come to me going, "We've had this guy come along or this girl come along. Should we work with them?" And I've gone, "Have you looked at? They've got 200, 300,000 followers." Yeah, but have you looked at the back end?
3 likes on a post.
3 likes on a post.
150
or if
views.
That person's got 500,000-600,000 followers, why are they not working with massively known brands? Why are they working with these small little brands? Everyone works with small brands, but there's no substance to what they're doing with that amount of following.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. And brands are now looking at the back end stuff going, he's got X amount of followers. If they click on the followers and see they're not tradespeople, they're not any sort of...
They're not any kind of people, really, are they?
They're not. Yeah. They're just a random faceless account with they're following 2 people, but they're following X amount of people, but they've got 2 followers. They never reply to anything. It's just... I'm glad we're on that cusp of brands taking note now and going... We'd rather have the micro influencers that are 99.9% organic to that trade or to the construction trade than the guy with 500,000 followers, but 40% of his followers are trade based. The rest are just bots.
Yeah, of course.
And it's slowly creeping through, and I'm glad it is, because we the hardcore people, the 99% of people have put the graft in and they're getting the rewards for it, and the content they're putting out is amazing. But there are a few that are slipping through the net, and I think a lot of people know who these people are.
I think it's short-term gain, so isn't it, mate?
Yeah,
because they might trick somebody once, but again, if you work with a brand, I mean, it's, as I have done, when you put a post out, a couple of months later, they want to see the back end.
Yeah.
They want to see the engagement, the views, the clicks, the likes, or whatever it might be. Yeah. They'll have some kind of method of monitoring their investment.
Yeah.
And the people that have artificially manipulated their scores, as it might be, they're not going to have that. And then it's a one-off.
Yeah.
And to me, again, if you're going to... I want to work personally myself with brands or companies and build a long-term relationship. That's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah, it's a long game.
Unfortunately, like the sponsors that I've had on the podcast, Zinza, massive shout out to our headline sponsor, but they sponsored it when it first started, and then they've stayed with us.
Good.
And I've had several other sponsors that have come in and sponsored a few episodes, and then they'll come back and do more. And that's what I want. I want them to do a bit and then come back and go,
we've got a little bit more budget.
Yeah, we want more. We're happy with what you did. We're happy with the exposure that it's getting. Can we work with you some more? And leave that door open. But if you're going to trick somebody from day one,
they'll be gone.
And it won't take long for word to get round.
Oh, no, it don't.
A rumour has it, somebody feels that strongly about it. They had a T-shirt designed all about it.
No, so I never had that designed. I've always been quite vocal about... In fact, I was going to wear it, but I've got
I was a bit disappointed you didn't.
I should have done, to be honest. I'm going to wear it on our podcast. I just didn't want to... I wanted to, because I think because I'm on here, I thought I'll put my real world plumbing one on.
No, mate, you're all right with your own.
But yeah, there's obviously this jackal workwear that has become quite prominent within the construction,
mysterious jackals,
the construction social media circle. Now, what they're doing is great because it's a faceless thing. They can say what they want, and they know that I was quite vocal about the buying followers things and this, that, and the other. And funnily enough, a automotive YouTuber is quite well known, a guy called Joe Achilles. He's got a big automotive YouTube following. He's got a podcast, and he mentioned it on this. Now, I've met Joe on various different things, and we to and fro a little bit, and it come about that the Jackal workwear company approached both of us and said, would you work with Mark and vice versa? Would you work with Joe on just doing, not work, but would you sort of back this a little bit? I've got to be careful because what Joe does, he works with big companies, BMW and Michelin and all that sort of stuff. So he's gone, I'll wear it and I champion it, but I can't be too involved with it.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. Whereas I'm like, yeah, I can be that little bit more vocal about it. And we have the T-shirts made up, and it was a play on the old, like the old parental advisory thing.
Yeah.
I think it's parental advisory, artificial social media growth or something like that, but in the same font as the old stickers we used to get on NWA albums. Show my age there,
mate. You say that. Look at that hoodie design there.
That's what just caught my eye.
Yeah.
And again, we run with that, and it's just a little bit of the Jackal Workwear team just throwing these little things out, and I love the way they're doing it because they're taking something. They'll see something on the social circuit, and they'll just put a little spin on it, like they did the thing a few months back with they were putting it into AI with people talking into little babies.
Yeah,
they've done a few of me, and it just works really well. But because it's a faceless thing, they can throw this out there.
No, I love it. I love what
so
they're
they
doing.
have them T-shirts done, and I will wear it on the Trade Legend podcast.
It did make me laugh when I saw it. In fairness, mate, which is what it's designed for. It's tongue in cheek. It's poking fun at some of the the nonsense that goes on within the
There's
industry.
a lot of it, but it's always going to be there. But as a whole, social media and content, I love making content. I love the long form content that I do on YouTube, and that sort of come around from. It was sort of.
What made you start?
It was
Mark?
the COVID time.
We're missing the whole getting into working for yourself.
So let's. Look at me. I'm telling you, not telling you. Let's go back. This is the problem having a podcast
host on host.
So let me go back.
A 6-hour episode, by the way. So stay tuned.
That's the problem. It gets so bad. So I left my. Went off and worked with this other company with the guy that I did my apprenticeship with, and then I was married at the time. I'm going to quickly shortcut this. I was married at the time, split up with my missus, and sold the house and whatnot. And at that point, I was living at my sister's, and my sister said to me, "While you've got no outgoings, you've got no mortgage, this, that, and the other, why not go on your own?" So I was like, "Right, I'm going to go on my own." Then I think I had 3 weeks' work living at my sister's. I haven't got. While you've got nothing,
no overheads
yet. So 6 weeks later, 20 years later, I'm still here working for myself. And it's been hard. It's been hard at times, but it just drives me because you're the only one that can make it work. If you, be a lazy shit and sit on your ass and you won't have any work.
Yeah.
Be out proactive. Be proactive and get out there. And I've had times when I've had no work and I've gone to the local merchants and just stood in there for half a day. DIY Dave will come in. I've tried to do this on my washing machine. Mark's a plumber. He'll come and help you. And then they go, "Oh, have you got time to come and help me?" I've got no work, but I'm like, I've got literally a window of a couple of hours this afternoon. I can pop round. There you go. And as soon as you get that little bit of traction, you're off again.
Yeah, it's I think the beauty of working for yourself is that, like you said, if you're lazy, you'll feel the laziness in your bank balance. But the flip side of that is the harder you work, you get the rewards for it. And it's one of with the rising cost of living, I've had this conversation a few times. I'm so glad that I work for myself not because everything's costing more, but just purely because I've got the option of going, like, a couple of things. One, I can attempt to put my prices up. You know, customers have got to pay it, or you can't just keep putting them up. But you have got that option. You're not tied into, like, your expendable income is, you're on 40 grand a year. You used to have 800 quid a month expendable. Now you're down to 350. But you can also, if you want to, work harder, work more, work longer,
work more
pick
hours,
up the odd
weekend,
Saturday. You know, so having that flexibility, being self-employed, to be rewarded for your effort, to me, that was like a massive thing.
Yeah, and that was it. That was the part of the drive was that, and it was a time restraint. So I had a young family at the time, and I remember one of the reasons that helped me go on my own was I remember asking the company I worked for. I'd had all my holidays that year, and it was one of my kids' Christmas plays, and I went to see the gaffer and went, "Look, can I have Thursday morning off to go and watch the play? You've had all your holiday this year, mate. You can't have it off." I went, "Well, I'm fucking going because it's my kid's Christmas play." Part of me wishes I hadn't told you. And I just rung in sick. Oh, well, you know, you won't get paid if you don't come in. I went, "That's fine. I'm just giving you the courtesy of saying." Whereas I would have liked him to have gone, "No problem. Obviously, we won't be able to pay you, but no problem." But it was just the doors went up, and I went, "Fuck you! If I want to go, I'm not missing it." So that was a catalyst as well in working for myself. So I think it was what would it have been? God, 20 years. So it'd been 2004, 2005. I started on my own.
Okay,
it's 20 years. I'm 20 years in now, working for myself.
I took over 2001. I took over my business. Yeah.
And it's the best thing I've done. Don't get me wrong, there's been hard times and there's been stressful times, and all of a sudden you're no longer, I'm just a plumber, I've got to learn to do my books. No one teaches you that. Got to learn to do my books, got to learn to quote jobs. I remember going, the fuck do I quote this? But I remember going to look at a barn renovation from a builder I met on a job doing a boiler at the time. Oh, I've got a little barn. He was really, Jim his name was, he was really like, "We'll make it work. Mark, come and look at my barn. You can do the plumbing on it." I was literally given the job. I remember going to look at it and going, I've never seen a house this big, let alone I don't know where to start putting underfloor heating in and, 4 bathrooms and all this. And it was really outgoing character. He put his arm around me. He was like, "What do you reckon then, Mark? Would you start in a couple of weeks?" And I was like, yeah, sound. Yeah, brilliant, sound. 2 weeks, Monday or whatever. I remember going home, going to my missus, I haven't got a fucking clue where to start. And I went, but Jim he's literally said to me, if you've got to get pipes through that wall, we'll knock the wall down and rebuild it. Whatever you want, mate, we'll do. And that sort of gave me the drive to go, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? So I've gone in there. Obviously, I know my trade. I know how to solder joints and I know how systems work and that. So it was basically a house. And like my missus said, it's just 5 houses strapped to one. Just expand everything, And don't get me wrong, I rung Ian, funnily enough, who I'd done my apprenticeship with and went to that first company, that second company I worked with. And I remember ringing him going, the fuck do I do? He was working for himself as well at the time. And he went, if you need a hand, Mark, or you need some guidance, bring me up. And I think he came over and had a look over it. And he said to me, how would you do it? So I talked to him through it. He went, yeah. He went, that's right. So don't doubt yourself. He said, don't doubt yourself. You've got the skills to do it. Just take your time, look over it. And I remember being there for 8-9 months. And that was one of the first big barn renovations I'd done, and cut my teeth on it working for myself. And I was getting, money I've paid from him and having to do but the back end stuff, the bookkeeping from my end, and you learn on the fly. And that sort of makes you more proud of what you've done. It's like my kids have said to me before, how did you learn to do all the books and the invoicing and the quoting? And I said, you just do.
Say yes and then learn how to do it.
Exactly that, mate. Say yeah. But what we've got now is people who say yes to jobs, and they can look on social media, they can look on YouTube. And I've done it this week.
Massive tool.
Went on YouTube to have a look at something. It's there, whereas back then it was asking people. So it's a rudimental form of learning still. But yeah, push yourself out that comfort zone. Massively cliche, because that's where the magic happens, is outside the comfort zone. But it's right. I've always not stretch yourself financially, or just take a little bit of a risk. If you see something, you go, like with my van, the van I've got now is the first ever van I've leased or anything like that. And I remember going into it and was like, fucking hell, I've always been brought up. If you can't afford it, old
don't
school.
have it. Yeah,
don't have
same
it.
thing. Yeah.
But my van at the time was knackered. And I was like, I've got to do something. And I'm quite good with money now. I never used to be. So I'd done the back end research on leasing and PCPs and HP and all that. And I thought, let's just put myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, because that will fire me up. I've got to get up that morning to earn money to pay for the lease on the van. And that's probably one of the best things I did, was pushed myself. I could have bought a van for 4 or 5 grand, but I thought, no, fuck it, let's. And like my missus, I said to my missus, what if I can't afford it that month? A couple of £100 or 250 quid. She went, when in the last, at the time, 15 years, have you never had any money coming in? I went, well, I haven't. She went, fucking do it then, because you will always find a way of earning money or generating work, because that's the way I am.
The theory isn't that there's like a psychological theory. It works with time and means, but it's like, you'll always find a way to fulfill your means, or given a job a set up period of time. If you give a job 2 days, it will take 2 days. But if you give the same job 4 days, it will take 4 days.
Yeah.
There's a theory, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the same. Of many things, mate. Taking this place on was one of those moments.
I bet you signed in that. I bet you was like, shit shall
myself. I? Yeah, 100%.
But the moment 100%. You signed it, you've gone, I've got to up my fucking game now.
Again, mate, I've got to credit my wife, because she's the one that pushes me into these stupid things. But this was, I walked to the bar down the road, and we were walking past, and I noticed this place was
it
empty.
Out of the bar or into the bar?
Out of the bar.
That's probably why.
I think that's the problem. But I noticed this place had been empty for a couple of months, and signs in the window, like to let. And I thought, and I looked through the window because they were all open, and I was like, I just said to my wife, it was one of them, I was like, can you imagine if I could get the podcast in there? Look at all that space.
Yeah. So straight away your mind's going.
And
it's already worked, man maths in your head.
No, that was it, me, mate. I was done. That was my comment. That was it. And she was like, well, ring them then.
Yeah.
I was like, don't be daft. High Street Studio.
Yeah.
And with the old place that we recorded, it was peppercorn rent. It was peanuts. No concern at all. But taking this place on then did become that step of like, right, if this don't work,
I'm tied in.
It's costing me, and I'm tied into a contract now. But I knew at the same time, in order to grow things, I needed to take on a bit bigger space, better equipment, etc., etc. But yeah, it's a leap of faith. It was a leap of faith. Unfortunately, again, huge credit to the sponsors that have been with me through the podcast. So big shout out to Zinza and Q1. But they came in with sponsorship. I think I took the lease on. I started the renovation in November, did the first episode in here in January. And by the end of January, the sponsorships had covered everything that I needed to cover. So,
but that's as well with brands looking at you going, we like what Russ is doing with that. We want to be part of that.
Well, that was the thing, though, Mark. It would never. I'd never have got the level of sponsorship that I got if I was still in the old place, because it was limited.
Oh, okay.
So then it was like, look what I've done. Look what's growing. Look at this space. Look at what I can do with this. So it's that future projection, and hopefully, them backing me has paid off for them as well. So. Yeah,
and like I said to you when I come in, obviously I film at the Trade Legends podcast, as a lot of people will know.
And, do you?
And when I've walked in here, I've gone, oh, this looks smart, mate, and you've gone, yeah, it's not Trade Legends standard. And I said to you, didn't I? I went, don't downplay this, because it's fucking brilliant. And I'm one of them people. People like being around people that support you. So me going, don't play it down, Russ, because it's fucking brilliant, mate. I'd love something like this. The Trade Legends podcast is a business. Ours put that together, and there's a lot of money gone into it. I couldn't afford to do that. So if I was to do a podcast, I would be over the moon to have the setup that you've got here, because it's fucking awesome.
If I'm honest, one of my sort of like personality faults, really, it's something I'm trying to work on, is appreciating the moment, because I don't. I achieve a goal. I'm great at goal setting, hitting that goal, and then it's like, now this.
Do you not take time to appreciate that?
No, not
just
enough.
Step back and go, I've done well here.
Not enough, mate.
I've nailed that job I'm on, and I've got this, and we've had X amount of guests. Like you say, you've had some mega guests.
It's something I need to work on, but it's constant. I mean, part of it, it's also what drives me.
Yeah,
it's what drives. I'll never settle. I'm always thinking bigger, better, more.
What do you think will happen then if you take your foot off that gas just to go, I've done pat myself on the back? Do you think it'll all implode?
No. Interesting question. It's a good question. I don't know. I think...
Is it you scared of something not... Scared of a sponsor going, no?
No, I think I feel underneath it all, I said to you before, it was never a business. It's a passion project. And I feel that there's so much more to come and I've got so much more to give. And ultimately, my mission with this is to reach as many people as I can with the messages that I'm getting out there. I feel a real duty, honestly, like some of the incredible people that I've had the privilege of sitting and hearing their stories. I feel a real duty to be like, I need to get this to as many people as I can. Yeah. So my mission, like my responsibility, I feel here is to improve it to the state that I can hit my full potential or the podcast's full potential in order to honour some of the incredible people I'm sitting down with.
To do it justice.
Yeah, because ultimately, mate, the reason I set this up is to raise awareness around mental health. And it started very much like construction. There's a phrase, actually, that I really like, which is that this podcast was built in construction for everybody.
I like that.
So started off very much with all people in the trades, but it's diversified a lot recently.
He's going on its own path, isn't it?
The audience is still very much trades-based, but a lot of the guests are coming from all walks of life now. But yeah, I feel that there's a real sort of like mission beneath it, that's my driving force, is to try and reach as many people as possible. Because I just feel like there's people out there that are really struggling on the mental health side of things, that can connect with some of the things and stories that are being told.
Yeah.
But in order for them to do that, I've got to get word out there that it's here. Yeah, exactly. So that's the constant drive, is like, I know that there's more to come. There's more in this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can, there's no end goal. It's just a constant evolution.
No, there's no end goal. There is an end goal. The reversal of the horrible statistics we see.
Yeah.
You know, if and when, and I don't think it'll be in my lifetime, but if mental health and male suicide was no longer a problem in the UK and in construction and surrounding, then maybe my mission would be done.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't think I'll see that.
No, it's again, it's something that I'm quite a. I was thinking on the way over, have I ever sort of been low mentally? And I'm quite a resilient person, and I think I get this from my old man, passed away 22 years ago now. He would shout at me and my sister away from any issues. He would deal with that because he was of that generation.
Yep.
And I do that a lot. My missus says to me, you need to... She can tell when I'm stressed. She can tell when I'm stressed, and I don't get stressed over a lot of things, but when I do, it massively gets in my head, but I will give that... Which is probably the wrong way of doing it. I would be, is everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. But she knows that I'm stressed, and she'll leave me to... She knows how to sort of work me, if you like. You go and do that. And I make it all right in my head, and then I'll sort it out. It's probably like maybe a control thing. I like to make everything all right for everyone else. You know, like the kids, if ever they've got a problem, I'll leave that with me. I'll sort that out. Because I shout at people or like to think I shout at people, which I probably don't, because they see me and go, Mark's fucking taking too much on there. But in my head, I'm going, I've got this. And I touch wood, and I'm massively fortunate that I've never been down the wrong path, if you like. I've always sort of been able to go that way or that way. But I do know it's an easy scale to tip. So I have got a lot better recently at sort of saying to Kaz, my missy, oh, fucking hell, I need to just go out and... My sort of space. I used to cycle quite a lot, which now I've lost a load of weight.
You're looking great, by the way. To be fair,
mate.
You've lost... How much have you lost?
4 stone.
Jesus
On the fat jabs, I'll make no airs or graces about it. I've done the Manjaro route.
It worked, yeah.
And it's worked a treat for me. But now I'm back in a decent place. I want to get back on the bike, because when I used to cycle a lot, your phone was in your back pocket, and you'll be out for 4 or 5 hours. You wouldn't see that message pop up. You were out and cycling, and you're in the countryside, and annoying car drivers and all that sort of stuff. But you was just in your own headspace.
Yeah.
So, the same as jumping in a car and just driving. I did it a few years ago, just drove up to Snowdonia for a couple of days because a lot was consuming me, and I wouldn't share it. I would go, let me get in a car. I booked a hotel in Snowdonia. I'm just going up there for 2 days. Kaz was like, fine, ring me, make sure, go and do your thing. And I'd just go up there, drive the roads and this, that, and the other. As long as every couple of hours I'd drop her a message. And then I'll come back. I've sorted it all out. Yeah. It's all fine in my head. And then I would say, right, this is what we're doing. This is this.
To be fair though, Mark, all of that is mental health.
Yeah.
It's one of the key things, because sometimes when a guest comes on, and I've had people that want to come on, and they'll say things like, I've never had a mental health breakdown, I've never felt suicidal. Like, absolutely. Like, I love speaking to people because to me, life is mental health. And what I mean by that is, like, emotions are mental health. Stress is mental health. The difference is, and I used to do this myself, so it's a lesson I learned. People confuse mental illness and mental health, two very different things. So people think that mental health is mental illness, i.e., if you have mental health, you have a mental illness. Mental illnesses are things, like BPD and
What's
personality,
BPD?
like bipolar.
Right, okay.
Or there's various ones out there, like obviously, psychosis and things like that. It's a mental illness that needs like professional treatment.
Yeah.
Mental health is essentially, to me, it's just the ups and downs of life.
Right.
The problem is that as men, a lot of us let the downs mount up and we don't talk.
Yeah.
Particularly in construction, because it's dominated by alpha males that don't like to talk. There's the stigma of appearing weak or vulnerable by doing so. But similarly, as much as I sit on this platform and have these conversations a lot, I'm very similar to you.
Yeah.
I'm actually shit about talking about myself.
Yeah.
My wife takes a piss all the time because she's like, the amount you go on about talking, if something's wrong with you, you don't.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I could go all the way back. This isn't about me, but I learned my coping mechanisms as a kid. And it comes from abandonment and growing up in the household that I grew up in. I had no support.
Right.
So I learnt to deal with everything myself. I don't know about yourself, but I think generational, again, a lot of, and that's okay. Like, the way you deal with things is okay as long as you can deal with it.
Yeah.
It's that one occasion where you can't.
Yeah.
And it's those occasions that then unfortunately spiral into bad things. Yeah. But the fact that what you've got, by the sounds of it, is you've got your own coping mechanisms. Yeah. So you can recognise, and that's a big thing, recognising the stress build-up, recognising potentially signs of burnout, which is another thing I wanted to talk to you about, how you cope. Because, again, massive credit to people like you that are running your business and the social media side of it, and the brands and the shows and the podcast. Everything. It's a lot.
My missus even said I'm busier now than I ever have been.
I can believe it.
But because I enjoy plumbing and heating, I enjoy the editing side of the content that I make. I find that quite therapeutic. Every Saturday morning, I'll go to a cafe near me.
Caffeine and Machine.
Car place. Yeah. I'll go there, sit in the corner with my laptop out, edit away and everything. And I can be in there 4 or 5 hours, sat in the corner, and because it's a car destination place. I can be sat there for a couple of hours. An edit's pissing me off. Get up, have a walk around. There might be the vintage Jag or a Ferrari or whatever, and just have that 10 minutes walking around, having a coffee, come back down. So I find that the editing side of it quite therapeutic. What I do find stressful is when you've put the content out, is constantly engaging with it or scheduling content to go out. And it's like the YouTube, because all my content is long form stuff. I really struggle. I can make a 25-minute video, sit and edit it, enjoy that. If I've got to make a 45-second reel, blows my head away. I fucking really struggle to make a 45-second video for Instagram Reels or whatever. But a 25-minute video, sound, not a problem. But I can lose myself in that edit and absolutely love it. And that I find that quite therapeutic. Yeah, I enjoy that side of it.
It's not always. See, have you ever tried meditation, or have you ever
No.
meditated? Nor me. Like I can't. So
I got into that cold plunging a little bit. I really enjoyed that.
That's touching on the same thing. So, I've spoken to a lot of people now on this podcast, and I've spoken to a lot of people that have, say, been diagnosed with ADHD. Fighters is an interesting one for me because they talk. I sat down with a chap called Aaron Ashton.
Right.
Brilliant bloke. He's a heavyweight bare knuckle fighter. Brutal.
Big guy.
Big lad.
Monster.
Yeah. But look, absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
His episode was a couple of months ago. And I was talking to him, and he was saying that at his worst time, when he was going through like a relationship breakdown situation, the only time where he could switch his mind off was in the ring, because you can't afford to be anywhere but there. The minute you switch off, you're getting some serious damage done. He referred to it as high-level chess with dire consequences.
Yeah.
Was how he referred to boxing and bare knuckle. Very intelligent, very articulate bloke. But there's a few things like that, like cold plunges, like maybe for you're editing or going for a drive. So meditation refers to you heard the hippie phrase, be at one.
Yeah.
Right? It took me a long time to understand what that meant. I didn't understand what it meant. And all be at one means is be at one with yourself in that present moment. So all you're thinking of in that moment is that moment.
Yeah.
So essentially shutting off all the noise. I'm a massive overthinker.
Right.
So you hear about fighters that get into flow state and things like that, and they actually feel it therapeutic.
Yeah.
And that's what that...
bobbing and the weaving and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So meditation is just that. If you can find anything in life that centres you in that exact moment, so all you're thinking about is that, and it switches off all the background noise, to me that's meditation.
Right, okay.
That's what cold plunge does, because when you get into a freezing... All you can think about is that.
It's controlling your breath and staying warm, but it is, as soon as you get in, it just fires every muscle in your body, and you are just trying to control everything.
Exactly.
You forget everything else.
The physical sensation is so overpowering, it puts you in that moment and that moment only. Unfortunately, that also translates to like people that self-harm. Same thing. The noise is so bad in their head that the only way they can, and it's the same sort of coping mechanisms. But it's interesting because to me, like your editing potentially, actually, if it absorbs you.
It probably do. I find it quite calming because I film everything. I know the story. Like people have said to me before, when you get someone to edit it, I couldn't hand it over to someone else. And B, I know when I'm filming it, I know the narrative of it. But it is like spinning plates sometimes. Let's say I filmed an hour and a half's worth of footage. So I've got an hour and a half's worth of footage, and I've got to condense that down to 25 minutes or half an hour. There's probably nice. Yeah. There's probably, if you didn't pick that up on the mics, the car went past. I think it sounded like a V8. Hour and a half worth of raw content. I've got to get down 25 minutes. That will probably take 5 or 6 hours to condense to 25 minutes. Then you've got to go and put your sound. I'll now put a soundtrack over certain parts of it, and I'll speed little bits up. So then you've got to find your music where you put your soundtrack along it. Then say I'm editing that at Cafe de Machine. I then come home where I've got the microphone to do a bit of voiceover work. Yeah. So that might take an hour. So now you're sort of 6-7 hours into the edit, and you've rendered it and it's out. So let's say for hours, 8 hours. Then you've got your raw edited file. Then you've got to upload that to YouTube. So then comes the big, as we all know, if you make any sort of content on YouTube, is the thumbnail. I can spend 2-3 hours making the thumbnail. Really? Because I want it. The only thing, if you take everything away from YouTube, when you're flicking through that tile screen, you're not reading every title. You're looking at every thumbnail. If that thumbnail doesn't engage you, you're pissing in the wind. So I'll spend 2 or 3 hours. I might make 5 or 6 thumbnails. Then probably an hour on the title, running the title through various, your keyword tags and all that to make sure that hits. So you're probably 10 hours in, Then you've got to write your description and you've got to do your chapters. Then you've got to do your tags. So you're probably 12, 14 hours on a video for YouTube. Then you're putting it out there and you're sitting then, at least do the first 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday night my videos go live 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock Sunday night. Videos, yeah.
Real World Plumbing. Go subscribe, like, share. Subscribe to this as well.
Yeah. Subscribe to everything. So 6 o'clock it goes out. I'll be there for 2-3 hours watching it, monitoring it, because the first half an hour I'll know if that video's hitting well or not. If it isn't, at the back end of YouTube, you've got a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Your videos will be, if you're doing well, you'll be a 1 out of 10. If it's doing shit, it's a 10 out of 10. Usually they're 2, 3, 4s. If you've got a video that's doing 7, 8, within half an hour, I'll change the thumbnail. I'll change the title. Because that thumbnail's not grabbing people. It might just be the case, like the one that's gone out recently is me, the typical typical user, hands on my head. There's 2 pipes. One's got a nail in it, and the tagline on it is just nailed. That's all it is. Massively contrasted. The colours on it are massively vivid, and the title was something like "Emergency Call Out to a Nailed Plumbing Pipe." That one hit really well. Straight away, off the bat, it was 1 out of 10 instantly. But if I hadn't have put nailed and I put something like "Emergency Call Out goes wrong," it might have been a 4 or 5. To which then I'll go, "There's something not right there. Let's pull that off." This is all the hour after it's gone live. So I've spent 14 hours
watching. This is how much work goes into these things,
and this is what people don't see.
How much thought and all that background,
But this is where YouTube gives you all the information. After 5 hours, I think, you can analyse everything from your viewer retention. I've done a video before where I've done one job and then further on in the video there's a second job. And in between them 2 jobs, I'm in the van going, right, we just finished at Russ's house doing his toilet. We're now going to Bob's house to do his outside tap. Might be 45 seconds in the van of me chatting. The viewer retention's dropped right off there. So that tells me don't do that little talking piece of the camera in the van. Do it while you're packing your tools up because people are still engaged. So you do that and your viewer retention doesn't drop off. Because YouTube have given you that information. Do what you want with that. As a content creator, either sit on your laurels and just put your content out. Do your thumbnail, put it out there, and then moan that it's not doing very well. Or monitor it. It depends how deep you want to go into it. Monitor it for the first couple of hours. If it's hitting well, fine. Don't tweak anything. See how it goes. If it's a 7 or 8 out of 10, tweak the title. Instead of going, "Emergency plumber called out to a nailed pipe," put "Nailed pipe emergency." It's all that getting people in.
Like I say, this is the reality behind what you see, because there will be people that will be sat there just going, "Oh, he just films it and throws it out on
Takes
YouTube."
a picture holding his head and poof, there's even to the point of the font that I use. I've used it for 3 years now. I shouldn't be giving this away. The font that I use is an alert font, and it's always white with a red background because that draws people in. Red background and white writing in that font that I use is a natural alert thing.
Yeah, mate, it's touching on psychology.
Yeah. Whereas if you put fucking Times numerals font going, "My day in plumbing," it doesn't trigger the brain. And this is what people don't.
I must admit,
understand.
mate, I mean, I'm still so very new to it. I've recently changed my thumbnails on YouTube.
Biggest thing you can do. Most important.
The reason
thing.
being, mate, I got ChatGPT to analyse my YouTube channel.
What did it say?
It basically said your thumbnails are shit. Yeah.
Russ, thumbnails are shit.
They're continual, but they can be better.
Yeah.
So, and again, I've programmed my ChatGPT to be brutal.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, look, don't give me the fluff, just give it to me how it is. And it did. So we then had a bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
I was showing it my new designs.
Brilliant.
And yeah, so mine have all changed, but it's I'm kind of thankful at the moment I haven't got the time to focus on any one thing like that, because I'm still doing everything with the podcast. I need to focus like you're focusing.
Because you don't make decorating content. It's just the only outlet you've got on YouTube is the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube is just the podcast, which goes out long form and then the short form clips. But then there's also the other channels. So Spotify, Apple, all of the various channels associated to the podcast. I do the social media content for the decorating, but not YouTube. Don't do anything long form. Yeah. I just wouldn't have time, mate.
No, and like that for bearing in mind, I try to do 2 videos a week. So there's 20, what's that? Massive shit. 30, 40 hours worth of editing before you've even done a day's work. Or you've got to do, I've made a rod for my own back because I've got to go to work to make the content. To make the YouTube
It's a funny thing, mate, isn't it? Because I've seen this, and no doubt you have, with some people that really do well on socials, and they do that well that money's coming in from different sources, but the root of their socials was trade work.
Yeah.
But then they kind of stopped doing the trade work because, but the content that was doing, do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
They had to be at work to get the content that was doing well socially, and then all of a sudden they're no longer doing the content.
There's a few content creators out there that you'll see them now, they just do bits. Whereas, I mean, people even say to me, local people and people that I know, do you still do plumbing? And I'm like, of course I do. Yeah. Because my social feeds are saturated with the content I'm putting out. I don't film everything. Like I've done a job today, and 2 jobs today, in fact, that I didn't even get my camera out and film. But people think, oh, you're filming everything. So these 2 jobs I've done today, I was like, there's no point in me filming this. I've done it to death.
Yeah.
So let's have a few months away from that. So I just got, and it was quite nice actually to go in and just get the job
do the
done.
job.
But even when I'm doing it, I'm going, oh, I should have filmed that. Should have filmed, I've got them Ray-Ban Meta glasses to try and help me do more short form content, because put them on, hit the button, and because my job is obviously very both hands, and that POV shot is great, but I just struggle with short form. Really do. I'd rather do a long form video for someone than 45 seconds.
I think we started to touch on it because you said COVID when you first started getting into social media.
Yeah, so it was COVID, and we was all in lockdown. Fortunately, being a plumber, we were classed as essential workers, so we could work if Mrs. Smith's water's pissing through her ceiling.
I worked all the way through, mate.
Oh, you did
as
as
a decorator. I mean, I'm not essential, but there was never any point where I was told to stop. Not by the authorities, but the construction. I think the only thing I fell down against was a small point in time where they closed the trade centres.
Yes,
but a friend of mine does insurance contracting, fire and flood. And they were deemed essential because people were displaced from their homes while the renovation work was being done. So their accounts all stayed open. So I could get paint all the way through. Perfect. But there was never any point in construction.
Yeah, I had like 2 weeks. Them 2 weeks that were red hot after we were told to stay at home.
Yeah. So
I thought, I'll have a couple of weeks in the sun. Then I got pissed off with her wanting the garden done, so I went back to work. So it was COVID, and I watched a few tradespeople. Pete, PB Plumber, was one of the very first, iconic sort of YouTube plumbers, if you like. Watched Pete's stuff. Good friends with Pete now. And I just sort of looked and went, he had his own way, and I was again watching a lot of car content. I thought I could bring that vibe into what I do. Pete was very much POV, whereas I wanted to be more sort of talking to the camera and then doing the content. So I thought I'd give it a go, because at the time we was doing a hotel. That's right. A mate of mine had bought a hotel, and we was chopping it into 5 apartments. So I was on the top floor. The electrician was on the next floor, and I think the chippy was on the following floor. So we was all on our own floors.
Was that just hierarchy of trades?
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. I'll stay at the top. And I was like, I'm just going to I filmed it all on my phone. I'm going to get my phone out and just have a go. I'm quite a confident person anyway. And I had always done a little bit of photography, and I quite like a good picture, and I could sort of settings and all that. So I thought I'd give it a go, and it just sort of worked. I remember filming my first one and putting it out, and you look back and you go, fucking hell, that's a bit shit. But I like the fact it was shit because it's progression, and everyone's got to start somewhere. So I filmed everything on my phone. I now film on a GoPro, but every video is edited on my phone. I could literally edit a video here now.
Phones are so good now, aren't they? Let's be honest.
So I can edit everything on there and then upload it to YouTube. So edited, filmed it on my phone, edited, put it out, and I remember sort of saying after a few weeks, it sort of gained a bit of traction because everyone was sat at home, and it sort of started working. And then I got because you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours to be monetized on YouTube, and I think the average was something like 18 months to get that. I think I've done it in 4 weeks.
Shit.
Yeah,
really?
I'm one of these people, and it could be a downfall of mine. Well, it's not a downfall, but I hyper focus on something. So for months before, I watch podcasts, watch stuff on YouTube, how to build a channel, how to do, getting as much information. I'm a sponge. If I'm going to do something, I want to be able to do it the best that I can do it from hitting the ground running. So I sort of got in there and went 18 months to get monetized. I'm going to try and do it without. I've done it in 4 or 5 weeks. So straight away, I had the content, the subscribers, the watched hours.
That's exceptional, mate, to be fair. I think it took me, I'm monetized now. I think my total YouTube earnings are around about 32 quid.
So, that's 32 quid better off.
Exactly. But, it got monetized, but it took a while. In fact, I've found, probably due to lack of attention, if I'm honest, but I found YouTube the hardest platform to grow in terms of subscribers and that.
Yeah, you got to really use everything YouTube gives you. YouTube gives you everything because they want to earn as much money as they can. So we're giving you everything we can, giving you all the ingredients. You need to bake the cake, but everything is there, literally everything. So I got monetized, and then I started earning 20, 30 quid a month, and I was like, this is all right. And I thought, if I really go at it, in my head, I was going, it goes back to the leasing the van thing, the pressures, the pressures of going, I need to find 300 quid a month or whatever it was. I thought, if I could earn 300 quid a month to pay for the lease, I've got a free van. That's my goal.
Yeah.
So it got to that point, and then it went a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and then the brands went, oh, we love what you do. Can we get involved with it? And then Unilight came in, and Unilight, they'll sponsor the video, sponsor my whole YouTube channel, then Vito Pro Pack bags, and it just evolved. And all of a sudden, you're like, fucking hell, this is brilliant. And the ad revenue's working, and you're earning the money for doing the job. You're earning the money if you put in the effort in. Yes, it's long hours, and probably for the first 2 or 3 years, I was not even earning money. I was earning money, but it weren't minimum wage for the time spent editing it. Whereas now it does all right, and I'm massively fortunate and never sort of begrudged that I've put the hard work in, and it's the rewards are there. But it just become a thing, and I'm like, I can pay my van lease, and all of a sudden I might be able to pay the mortgage now and the van lease, and it's like a second income.
Do you know what, mate? I'm so glad though that you broke that. Before saying that, I'm so glad that you broke down how much effort you put in. Because people hear what you just said.
If I had said that, fucking hell, it's all right for him.
Exactly. People just hear that bit where they're like, oh.
And bearing in mind, that breakdown of a video I've just said to you is what I'm doing now. So when I was doing half an hour videos 2-3 years ago, it was probably 3 days, or not 2 or 3 days in one hit. But, I was coming home from work, or I was coming home from work at 5 o'clock and editing till 9, 10 o'clock at night. The missus getting the ump, and then the pressures of getting a video out. I made a thing of going every Wednesday and every Sunday, 6 o'clock. I've got to get content out.
Do you feel anxious when you put it out?
Yeah.
When you hit that post button, or it's probably auto posted at 6, isn't
it? But you still got to schedule it, and you still got to go, I think that's ready to go. And even now, I'll look at thumbnails and I'll go, or titles, and I'll go, you're overthinking it now. 2 years ago, Mark, that would have been fine. You'd put it out and it would have done all right. Whereas now I'm looking, going, maybe I can move that font. Maybe I can move that picture of me to the side a bit. Or have I overused the cliche hands on the head thing? But Jeopardy, people love when something goes wrong. And this is the nudge to the real world plumbing. I will show it when it goes right. I will show it goes wrong. And I also did, and again, coming over here, I did one video once, and it was a massive video for me that I filmed. I filmed it, and I sat on it for 2 months and never put it out because I was not ashamed of it, but it was a video probably meant you'll probably not analyse it, but you'll give me some feedback on this. It was a video I filmed. Felt ashamed of filming it, and it sat there for 2-3 months. And I think it was a point when I was like, I've got no content to go out this week, and I became a slave to the YouTube algorithm. Oh, shit, I've got no content. Fuck, what's going to happen? My channel's going to fall apart if I don't put something out on Sunday. It won't, but in my head I'm going, shit, and I've got that. I'll tell you what the video was in a minute. I've got that video. I could put that out. It's 25 minutes long. It's edited. There's a thumbnail. There's a title. It was all done and just sat in private in YouTube with me going, I can't put this out. If I put this out, I was ashamed. As I say, I was ashamed of what happened in the video, and I shouldn't be. So anyway, let's put it out. And I sort of put it out, hit the button, and I don't even think I looked at it afterwards. As I was saying to you, usually I put a video out, the next 2-3 hours I'm there watching it, monitoring it. I hit the button, just left it. Didn't want to see what the comments were of this video because I just didn't like it. And I think 2 or 3 days later, I went to the back end of YouTube and clicked on it, and the fucking views, mate, were through the roof. 150,000 views in a few days. I was like, bearing in mind my videos at the time were doing 20,000 views was a good video for me at the time. It done 150,000 views. I'm like, fucking hell. Comments, thousands and thousands of comments, thousands of thumbs up, big thumbs up. Thumbs up and the like button is a massive thing on YouTube. Comments, interaction. I haven't interacted with a single one of these comments, and usually I'd have been on it. Bang, 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 bang. Nothing. 150,000 views. Fucking hell. That video was a video I made of me walking off a job because I couldn't fucking cope with it. To say I couldn't cope with it was probably wrong. The job was wrong in so many ways, and it's the first job in 20 years, 18 years at the time that I'd ever walked off. So the job was a big house, 5-bedroom house. The underfloor heating was already in on it. I had to do the pressurised hot water side of it. Company was coming to do heat source, so I had to do the pipe work, the whole pipe work in the building, pipe work for 4 bathrooms. Not a problem. I've done this before. It's not an issue at all. Went into the job, spoke to the builder. Right, if I can have from this date to this date, 2-week period, I can get all I'll literally just hit that job. I'll get in this job, get all the pipe work in, get me the drawings for the bathrooms. I'll get all the pipe, everything done. 2 weeks. You know, if the electrician's in there when I'm there, fine, because plumbers and electricians, as much as we're meant to hate each other, we can work in unison because we're drilling holes through joists and all that. Said, no problem if the electrician's there. Yes, Mark, no problem. You'll be there. I'll tell the Sparky you can come and go. Perfect. Big house. I've turned up on there, let's say a Monday morning, pulled into the driveway, massive driveway. The fucking site is full. There's brickies, chippies, plasterers, insulation guys, roofers, electricians. I even think there was tilers getting the flooring in because the underfloor heating had already gone in. It's fucking 7 trades off the top of my head. I've gone, what the... I'm meant to be there on my own because there's not a single pipe in this building. I've gone, what's going... I walked in, plasterers are putting boards up, skimming ceiling. There's no fucking pipes in there.
Yeah.
Boards are up, skimming ceilings. The builders are there. The tilers are putting tiles down. My head's gone. And I'm like, what the fucking hell? So I've started getting some pipe in where I can. And in my head, I'm already going, I can't fucking do this. I can do it, but I can't do it because I'm meant to have this building completely empty, bar for a Sparky, to get all my pipe work in. There's not a thing in there. I've gone to the plasterers. I've got to get all pipes in here. They're on a price or a day rate or whatever. They've gone, mate, if you've got to smash holes in the ceiling, fucking crack on. I went, you can't work like that. He's gone, we don't give a fuck. We've been told to do it. Gang of plasterers in there smashing it out. I've gone, I can't smash another Mize fucking work out. So I'm downstairs. I've carcassed the kitchen out. I'm rubbing my head because I can remember it now. It's sort of coming back to me. I'm carcassing the kitchen out.
The stress is coming back.
Honestly, it is. It's sort of triggering bits. And I remember going, I think I did that day, and I went home to my missus. I went, it's a shit show. And I went, I can do the job because I've done barn renovations for years. I went, I can do it. The goalposts have moved. And there's fucking 7 trades in there. Didn't sleep a wink that night. And I've gone back the next day, and I've gone in and fucking walked around. And I remember weren't long after I started using the GoPro, and I've put the GoPro on the window ledge. And I think that I do like a trailer at the start of my videos, and it's like a little snippet of the whole lot. And I think the intro is me doing what I'm doing now, just rubbing my head. And I think I look down the lens and I go, I can't fucking cope with this job. I'm going to have to walk off it. And the thumbnail was just a picture of the house with me going, I've walked off this job. And I was ashamed of putting that video out because tradespeople don't walk off jobs. If you walk off a job, you can't fucking do it. That's the stigma. I can do this job. The goalposts are moved. I can't do this job because they're putting ceilings up with no pipes in the ceilings, in the joists. And it's quite an interesting video. And if anyone wants to go onto my channel and look at it, it's the comments were bombarded. And I didn't look at that video for days. So many comments. Mark, thank you so much for putting this content out. It's made me not feel as shit as when I walked off a little job I couldn't do, or lads going, mate, we are in the same position at the minute. We don't know whether to walk off the job. And I'm looking going, weren't going to put this out. Filmed it 2-3 months ago, but people are, it's like I've put it out there and people are going, it's okay to.
Yeah.
Because
exactly that, mate.
It weren't me. It was and I remember messaging the builder. I'd done a couple of jobs for him before, and he was, don't get me wrong, the builder, there was no issue with the payment. He always paid me on time. The builder was a sound guy, but his management on that job, or just him saying to every tradesman, go in and do it, was the downfall of me on that job. And I remember messaging him going, I've walked off that job, mate, because I can't cope with every other trade being in there. I can't get the job done. I think I've ended it with like, I can't cope with that job. And I think he replied with something like, don't know what you mean, mate. I don't know why you can't crack on with it. And I just didn't ever reply to him. And I think I even put an invoice in for the 2 days on a whim, thinking I ain't going to get paid for it. And fair play to him, paid me for it.
Yeah.
But I just never went back to that job.
I think the problem is, it's a weird one, the trades industry, isn't it? Because there's, as much as it is supportive in the right circles, it's also very fucking toxic at times. And there are people waiting in the wings to tear you down. Yeah. So that's probably the fear of not wanting to post it, is that danger of giving people ammunition. Yeah. And also,
I was scared of the replies that I was going, you're a fucking shit tradesman, right?
Exactly that, yeah.
I think out of 1,000 comments on that, it's one of my highest hitting videos still to this day. Even a couple of times a week, I'll get a comment on that video, and it just blew up. But with positivity, the fact that I had put out there that I could cope with it. I couldn't cope with the situation and the goalpost being moved.
I think it's a rarity, mate, but I think most people, I've been in business 24 years. I've walked off 3 jobs in 24 years. And every time I think you push yourself beyond what you know is reasonable. Yeah. Because you're like, I don't want it. The last thing as a tradesperson
like me going in for 2 days. I was never going to get it finished.
The last thing you want to do is walk off.
Yeah. And
absolute last thing.
That was the fear of putting that out. And the fact that I'd filmed it, so I would have consciously have been on that. I filmed it in that job going, I can't fucking cope with this. So I think I filmed it as a release because I was never going to put it out. I remember driving home from that job going, I'm ashamed. That's why I wanted to build that up before I told you what the video was. Yeah. Just the clickbait coming in.
Thumbnail.
Yeah.
Thumbnail will just be your face saying, I was ashamed.
But that's the game. But I was just scared of putting that video out I would think I was 18 months into YouTube, to be scared of self-cancelling self-cancelling myself with that content. But it just goes to show, and I think that was probably where the whole real world plumbing thing
the reality, mate,
built from. Looking back, it probably was that point when I'm like, I've put it out, and whether people comment to go, this is real world, and I was like, yeah, it's real world. I dare say, if I looked, that would have been the start of the real world plumbing thing that I now is like my line.
It's where we need to be more supportive and real with each other, though. At times, the job isn't right or the customer isn't right. And that it's that Shark Tank, isn't it, of being worried about what everyone else is, your peers, whether they're going to judge you. And I think part of it as well comes into working on your own. You haven't got that team around you to get mate, what do you think of this? Do you know what I mean? What would you do here? What do you think of this? Or just somebody with you going, Mark, this ain't fucking right, mate. Or two, you got three of you.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, lads, we can all concur here. This ain't right, let's leave. Yeah. When it's on you as a one-man band to walk off, you're second-guessing, you're questioning yourself. Would somebody else walk off? Would the next bloke walk off, or would they do it? And if somebody else comes and does the job, does that make me look even worse then?
Yeah. But also, the fact that I've put that out as content for everyone to see. If I didn't even have a YouTube channel, I could have walked away from that job fine. The only person I would have upset would have been the builder, and I'd have been like, oh shit, I walked away from that. But the fact that I was more more anxious of putting it out because, let's say my channel had 10,000 subscribers at the time, 10,000 people judging me on that. Before, when I had no content, it was just the builder judging me. All of a sudden, I've got 10,000 people that are going to judge me.
And the rest.
That aren't subscribed. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. The 10,000 people judging me, I was more concerned about their judgment of people that I don't know, I've never seen.
And the crazy thing.
And that was the worry. But the moment I realised they were on my side, I went, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I can just remember it like they say that lifting the weight off your shoulders. I'm going, I did the right thing there.
Definitely.
Whereas,
you'll have helped a million people.
Yeah.
Not a million, however many, but a lot of people would have watched that and got that reassurance off what you did.
And the comments were that, Mark, thanks so much for putting that out. Off the back of that, we've turned this job down, or we've walked off this job, or I've walked off a job a year ago and felt shit, but now you've done it.
What you'll get, mate, I mean, I dare say you're a respected plumber in the space. So then if people can see you as a respected plumber and people will look up to you, you'll be a peer to many and go, Mark did it. Like if it was okay for him to do it, then do you know what? Fuck, it's okay for me to leave. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we have to know our value. We have to know our boundaries, man.
Yeah,
boundaries are so important.
And that's what I'd take. That's, that's what I get out of the social media thing is the colleges that use my content and the comments that come in. And I'm going to carry on doing social media. I don't see an out. Maybe it might slow down. I don't know. I'm enjoying it at the minute. It doesn't rule. Now I've found a good balance with it, and I can edit stuff quick and get it out, and I no longer have to chase the numbers. I'm happy where it is. If it grows massively, brilliant. But I enjoy doing it. But I've always said I don't rely on it. If the internet got switched off tomorrow, I'm still a plumber.
Always got trade.
I'm still a plumber at the end of the day, and that will come first and foremost.
There's a beauty to that, mate. I've dipped out of the trade on a couple of occasions and picked it up so quickly on the back end, literally just putting messages out, I'm back in business, or I'm back, and that's always been a real blessing. I think as my granddad said to me, you got to trade for life. And that's exactly what it is. You can do that and then dip out and pick it back up if you need to, which is exactly where you're at. 1,000,000%. There's something, before we wrap things up, mate, the question I've asked a lot of people. You're aware because you've had the guests on your podcast, you've had me sit on the podcast and talk about the same thing. The horrible statistics around mental health in construction and the terrible amount of people that are struggling and taking their own lives. Have you got any insights onto why the construction industry is so bad for that?
It probably comes down to what I've literally touched on there, is the pressures from customers maybe and builders, and we're we've got to be jacks of so many trades, not just the trade we're in, but we've got to, especially people that are self-employed, we've got to do the books. We've got to keep our eye on our cash flow. We've got to keep our eye on so many different things, little things, paying our tax bills at the end of the year and staying on top of it and making sure we're accounting for everything. And then the pressure of getting the work in, you know, we can look in our diary and go, oh, in 3 weeks' time, work's drying up a little bit. Straight away, that pressure's on you to generate a bit more work. And I've said it earlier on, it can be easy getting work in, but it can also be fucking hard. And I don't say it's not, because there are people out there that massively struggle. The construction trade it can be like a pressure cooker. Everyone's got an opinion, even without social media. Take that out of the way. Everyone's got an opinion on how things are done, and Joe Public, for some reason, doesn't like handing money over to tradespeople if they think they can do that job cheaper themselves. You must get it a lot, and this is no disrespect to painters. Everyone can pick a paintbrush and have a go. So they will go, oh, well, I can do that. And like plumbing and heating, they don't want to have a go because it's plumbing and heating. But then they don't want to pay, they sort of begrudge paying what you're worth as a tradesperson. Mm-hmm. It's the relevancy of that. And again, we touched on it very much at the start. I don't know if it's still looked down upon as a tradesperson, but you're like, oh, he's just a brickie. He's just a chippy. He's just a plumber. He's just a painter.
Yeah.
So that can get into people's psyche as well.
I think it does. I believe that.
I think we are the back. We've always said it. Construction, the backbone of Britain.
1,000,000%.
You know, if it weren't for, you know, tradespeople, you wouldn't have the houses you live in. You wouldn't have the water running to your taps and all that. So don't look down on tradespeople. And I think that can get. It doesn't get to me, but it does get to certain people.
I think it starts at the start. What we said before, the fact that it's sort of put out there that if you fail, you go into the trades. Yeah. So the minute somebody starts an apprenticeship, in theory, they're going, well, I'm here because I failed.
Yeah.
Not I'm here because I want to be.
And it's a big, massive, vicious circle, isn't it? Yeah. And if the schools are putting that out and the customers are looking down upon you, I'm not saying all customers do because they don't, but we're worth more than what some people give us credit for. And I think that can have a detrimental effect on construction people as well.
It's a great answer. I mean, financial pressures is the big one. The one thing that rattles me more than anything is this weird thing within the trades and construction where customers feel it's okay to pay when they feel like it.
Yes.
I just do not understand.
Yeah.
There's no other industry that accepts it. There's no other demographic of work. Why is it okay?
Yeah.
Why is it okay to say,
come and do that job?
You know, yeah.
Cheers, Russ. Thanks for painting my lounge or whatever. I'll ping me an invoice over. I'll sort you out.
So it's the old one, mate. I mean, I'm old enough to remember it. No doubt you are. The old one, the biggest lie in the world used to be checks in the post.
Yeah.
Now it's, I'll transfer you the money later.
Yeah.
But later is what?
Yeah.
Later to me means, to be honest with you, the way I see it is I have done the job in good faith.
Yeah.
I've completed the work. The minute you've told me we're really happy with that, that's the time to pay.
Yeah.
I'll pay you now.
Yeah.
Common courtesy. Yeah, no worries. Have you sent me the invoice yet? Right, great. I've got it. I'll transfer it to you now.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But this whole, I'll transfer it to you later.
Yeah.
And then later turns out to be 5 messages and 2 weeks down the line.
You're messaging going, any chance of that money? And I hate the fact when you have to beg for your money. Mate, I've any chance of pinging that money over to you?
Yeah.
Over to me. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm just out at the minute.
I find it so rude.
Yeah.
I really do. I find it so rude.
It's the age-old thing, isn't it? You wouldn't go to Tesco's and go, I'll pop that money down later on.
Later. Yeah. Later. And it's that open-ended... And there's an anxiety to that. I had this conversation before where, fortunately, it's quite rare these days. I've been in that position, so I don't look down on anyone that is living hand to mouth. But these days, it is quite rare where I'm waiting for an invoice and I'm desperate, like, I need that money.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, regardless of what my financial situation is, there's an anxiety attached to it.
Yeah.
Just that waiting for, if the customer says to me, yeah, I'll send it over later, then every time my phone pings or I'll just check it, oh, it's still not in, still not in. You wake up in the morning, check it, still not in.
Yeah.
Then there's like an anxiety builds within where I'm like, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Are they not happy with it?
Yeah.
And that, it's needless. And I don't think clients, customers really accept responsibility for that added pressure that's needless. You're happy with a job, just pay the fucking bill.
Yeah.
That's it. Pay the man that's turned up, done what he said he'll do, when he said he'll do it.
He's probably outlaid for material. He's probably out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that people do it sometimes is they leave you hanging as if they want to make sure everything's all right, but we want like a bit of a warranty. Do you know what I mean? They're like, well, we'll pay you in 5 days once we've used it and made sure it's all right. It's working.
Yeah.
If you haven't paid me in 4 or 5 days and there is an issue, I'm less likely to want to come back because you haven't paid me. If you paid me straight away and there's an issue, straight back.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible place to be, begging for your money. I've become quite ruthless with it now and gone, you know, I'll leave the house. I'll sort you out. I'll get home that night and I'll message I'll email them with the invoice and then I'll message you and go, that email's come through, just waiting on the payment. And then like the next, say it hasn't come through the next morning, still waiting on that payment. Is it okay?
Yeah.
I always turn it around. Is there an issue? If there's an issue with the payment, then, let me know. Do you want me to give you a ring? Put it in their court. Make them feel like, he thinks I can't pay.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have to do that.
No, you shouldn't.
And then, then I'll usually use the one, if it's a couple of days later, is that tap still working, is it? Or, I begin to get a bit arsey because don't make me fucking beg for my money. You was quick enough to pick the phone up when 100%. The water's pissing through the ceiling.
I mean, you know what I used to do for a living, I've never had a problem asking for my money. Yeah.
My old man used to say to me, when it comes to money, never be shy about money. Yeah. It's a transaction.
I'm giving away my secrets here, but my stock response normally is, did you receive the invoice okay?
Yeah.
Just because and I'm like, because sometimes they end up in junk. It has been sent. Did you receive it? And I know full well because I've already had the thing saying opened, and then you'll get the prompted normally, oh yeah, sorry, I'll transfer it now, or I'll transfer it this evening. Yeah. But even then, I had a customer the other day, they paid us all well and good, but the message I got was, I'll pay it this evening. And it was 48 hours later. And I'm just like, I don't know, I find it rude. Yeah. I really do.
And you usually find your working class, this is massively stereotypical, I guess. The working class guy, I'll come and do a job for you, Russ. You will go, cheers, Mark, bang, there's the money.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be cash, obviously, because he wouldn't be cash. But yeah, there's the money. It tends to be the ones with a load of money are the ones that fucking hang on to it.
I don't know whether it's just because they've never really had to experience that hand-to-mouth existence. And to them, it's like, well, he'll get it. Yeah. Because that's a response I've had before. You'll get it. Yeah. Yes, sound. Put it in my bank then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'd like to have it then.
Exactly, yeah. Can we please just sort this out?
Never be backwards in coming forwards when it comes to if you've supplied someone with a service, they need to fucking pay for that service. I picked one of my cars up from my mechanics the other day. Yes, I'm friends with him, but he was not going to release that car to. He would have done, but the mechanic won't release the car to the customer until the bill's paid.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. Yeah. You ain't going to stand in someone's house with your arms crossed, going, "You can't use that toilet until you paid me." I suppose you could, but just be a bit awkward.
It's weird though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know any other industry that.
That's what I mean. Why is it just commonly accepted that that's okay?
Yeah,
it's a very strange thing to me.
Yeah,
I've never understood it. I've never. And when I first took over I guess I've always been the same. To be honest, the signs were there early. Because when I took over the business, took over from my grandfather, and my grandfather, he would finish a job, he would go home, and he would get my nan to type up, literally type the invoice on a typewriter.
Yeah,
beautiful bit of nostalgia, and then send that invoice in the post.
Yeah,
and then the customer would get the invoice a couple of days later, and then he would wait for his check. And the whole process, it'd be a 2-week process. When I took over the business and I was working with him, I would print off my invoice at home on my computer and hand it to the customer. Right, you all happy? Yeah, okay, Mrs. Smith, here's the invoice.
Yeah.
And then I would stand there.
Yeah.
Because most customers paid by cheque back then. So I would stand there and literally, I was not bothered about making it awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the invoice.
Yeah.
And then just stand. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll go and get the cheque. Yeah. And my granddad the once said to me, he was like, I don't know how you do that, Ross. You shouldn't do that. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't like the way you ask for the money.
That's the old school way. Isn't it? He's a respect. You still respect the customer. He's a massive respect of walking away.
I think it's a British thing.
Yeah,
it's like taboo to talk about money.
It's
rude.
Right.
You don't ask somebody what they earn.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to other cultures, like my wife's got family in America. They're so open in America about what they, money is not. They just talk about it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine. We don't, do we?
No.
It's
my old man used to say, "Well, you never ask anyone what they earn." So it's like, yeah, you're right there.
But maybe we should.
What you earning, Russ?
I'll tell you off camera.
No, you're completely right. But when it does come to money, it's a good bit of advice. Fuck it, get your money. You've supplied 100%. That service. You've done that job.
I think it needs to go both ways. I would love for there to be some kind of way that we could just let customers politely know that, you know what, you can save us a lot of stress. It's a stressful job anyway. It's not easy. Just take that massive chunk of pressure off us and just accept that at the end of a service, you pay for it in the same way you pay for absolutely everything else in your life. Yeah. Do the same with us, please.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's rude to ask that.
No.
It would just be lovely to be able to get mate some reels saying exactly that. But it'd just be nice to get that across to customers. And I genuinely, I don't think it comes from a place of any kind of maliciousness from them. It's like this weirdly accepted culture.
It's like they don't. It's like they don't register that they need to pay you pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it's a strange one, isn't it? It's a really interesting topic, and I don't know any other industry where you get away with it.
No,
even putting fuel in your car, you fill it up, and you could literally drive off. And if you did drive off, the police would be called. So if they don't pay you, the police ain't getting called on them.
No, exactly. Can you imagine that? You get to the end of the street, 999. Excuse me. Mrs. Smith has had their room painted.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of the
Swing
road.
round.
Yeah,
and they're stood there like that. You've got to pay him.
Yeah,
but it's exactly the same principle in relative terms.
Anything, mate. I mean, there's so many things in the world that we pay for up front.
Yeah,
you book a holiday, book a cinema ticket.
And how many times have you been on holiday going, "Fuck me, I wouldn't have paid for that." Shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cinema ticket, the film's crap. I want my money back. Yeah. If you could go to the cinema, watch a film, and then if you liked it, well, after the film, you can pay. If you thought that film was shit, you'd be like, I'm swerving that.
We'll just walk out the door and go, I'll transfer it later.
Yeah.
I might pay in 3 weeks. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
But there we go.
There you go. Pay your tradesmen.
Well, listen, anyway, I'm sure 99.9% of my audience know exactly who you are. But just in case anyone doesn't, just let everyone know where they can find you.
So we've got MJ Tiff Plumbing on YouTube, MJ Tiff Plumbing and Heating on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We'd never even got onto the whole TikTok, Facebook thing. I don't really use TikTok, but I go on there now and again and put a little bit of content out to keep some brands happy. But yeah, if you put MJ Tiff Plumbing, I'll come up most places. And obviously the Trade Legends podcast.
Yeah, man. Go and give Mark a follow if you don't already on all those platforms. Most importantly, subscribe to Real World Plumbing on YouTube.
Get subscribed to there.
From my side, a big thank you to our guest merchandise sponsors, the Funky Peach. Anyone looking for any workwear, go and check those guys out. Fantastic service. I'll be sending Mark away with a T-shirt and hoodie from the podcast so he can take, it's almost like a Man City, Man United situation. He's got to go and take the Talking Tradesman merch onto Trade Legends.
I'll wear it on the podcast. I love it. Do you know what? I love the fact that, I've come on your podcast. We've done Off the Job podcast. I mean, on Dissidents podcast. Everyone works with everyone.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I love that.
Podcast feed other podcasts. If you watch this podcast, chances are, if you don't watch Trade Legends podcast, it would be linked because the algorithms fucking get you anyway.
Yeah.
But there's none of this rivalry. It's like with the YouTube channels. People, if you watch that plumber, you're going to be pushed that plumber and that plumber and that plumber.
No, it's great. It's a great little community, to be fair. Same, I've been on the Off the Job one, and I've been on Trade Legends. So, yeah, it's long may it continue.
No, thanks for having me on, mate. It's been really nice being this side and just chatting. I like being podcast hosts like yourself and me. I love talking to people. I love the tangents that you go off at. You know, we could have had a massively structured one and gone this, and this. But the fact we kept tipping in and out of it, just...
I think it was... Who it was I was talking to... It might have been something I heard, actually. But we were just talking about long-form conversation. There's very few talking about mobile phones and social media and the addiction and not wanting to not see it. But how many times in life now will you ever meet somebody, put your phone in your pocket or put it on silent and have an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour conversation? Because, you know, pubs are kind of gone. Yeah. People don't really socialise in them anymore. They're more eateries. It's very, very rare that you have a long-form conversation with people now, which is one of the things I love about this, is just, I guess, talking about that meditation thing, being in the moment.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the moment. I've got to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know, well, I don't have to. But it'd be pretty fucking obvious if I didn't. But it's that.
But you're right, and I haven't even thought of getting my phone. You just don't, because... And even... With text messages, you text people. I very rarely speak to people. It's a bit bad, really, because you should ring people. I don't really like talking on the phone, and that's shit. Because years ago, you would talk on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas I just like to, even voice notes. I've got a mate of mine that hates voice notes. He just can't. He's like, fucking ring me or text me. I'm not speaking into my phone. Ring me. But I do voice note.
I do,
mate. We voice noted about coming in. I find it really easy. But yeah, I can't remember the last time, if ever, I've sat for 2 hours and spoke to someone on the phone. Mm-hmm. But I would quite happily sit here for another 2 hours and chat shit.
That's it.
Not
person.
Shit. It's very good content. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Just chat. I love chatting.
It's becoming a lost form of communication. It's another one of the things they highlighted actually about the AI thing. Things that are going to become more popular. Genuine human interaction. Yeah. So podcasts. Yeah. You know, genuine conversations. Although with the way AI is going, you'll have like fake podcasts between AI weirdness. There'll be some kind of like authentic, you know, like eggs, they get stamped. There'll be some sort of like authentication stamp. Real humans.
That's it.
Real humans involved.
These are real humans. You're like, fucking real humans.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I could sit here for hours, mate, because it's
been an absolute pleasure, man. You know, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
I thank you massively for your time.
Not a problem.
Thank you to everyone for staying with us until this point.
How long are we in?
I've no idea. No idea.
If we stayed this long, well done.
Absolutely. But yeah, catch you soon on the next one.
Nice one. Cheers, Russ. Oh, we're fisting.
We do both.
Fist and shake.
Pleasure, man.
Nice one.